to take a look back. Thank you to everyone that's been with us along the way.
Jason Gregor Show. And then it'll cut to the left. On Sports 1440. 47 yards. And there it is.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Washington Gray. Pulling puncturing. An incredible performance. And we still got 14 minutes to go.
It's just after 2 o'clock. Good afternoon. Happy Positive Friday. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Go check it out. Use code word Gregor50. Get a $50 free play with your deposit. Also, Lotto Max tonight, $46 million. It's the Max Jones of lotteries. If there's any other number 46 you can think of, let us know. 1-833-401-1440. Remember to use your game sense. There's also the Gregor specials. Check it out, playalberta.ca. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Donovan Paulson here with you once again. Jason, he's going to join us later today, but he'll be back in the full-time seat on Monday. Lots to get to on the program today. Of course, the Edmonton Oilers making a couple roster moves we'll discuss. He'll be joined by Mike Rupp, former NHLer, Stanley Cup champion, and NHL Network analyst. Team USA Olympic roster released earlier today. We'll talk about that with him. Also, Sweden and Finland. We've got Lorianne Munzer. Speaking of Olympians, gold medalist will join us for In the Mind at 2:40. We'll have Wanye Gretz from Oilers Nation coming by at about 3 o'clock. Also, Craig Button from the NHL and TSN will join us. You got Canada in action. World Juniors tonight, taking on Slovakia. That gets going at 6:30 from Minnesota. We'll hear Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. Low Tide will join us. Spec, Gregor, and more. And hey, maybe even a special edition of Wanye's World with Wanye. The text line is 1-833-401-1440. It's the Ewell inbox. Score with your power play partners at Ewell. Get your electrical needs at ewell.ca with 24/7 ordering and shipping in Edmonton and across Alberta. Of course, we will dive into the depths of the Olympics. The American team, what do you think about it? The Swedish team, not going to be Mattias Ekholm. Philip Broberg will be there, but Mattias Ekholm did not crack the roster for Team Sweden. Tough for him. I'm sure probably really wanted to go represent his country at this tournament. If you want to spin it positively for Oilers fans, I think there's some encouraging news there. A chance to get a little bit of a rest. That means you're going to have, obviously, Connor McDavid representing his country. Leon Draisaitl will do the same for the Germans. But for the rest of the team, a couple weeks off in February to get right. Maybe take a little bit of a vacation and then rest up, recoup, and get ready for the stretch run. Lance texting in, just asking if we're going to talk about the Uma Horse Girls and the Broncos on the radio. I don't think so. This was something that was just brought to my attention by Lance yesterday. There's some sort of trend about a TV show and their fans became fans of the Denver Broncos, all relating to horses. Not much I know about it. I know we've got a few Bronco fans that listen to the show. I don't know if they've really embraced it, but yeah, you are starting to see some more costumes, outfits at Broncos game that probably would not be typical of that. For those who did miss it, we did have it throughout the day here on Sports 1440, but the rosters for the opposition at the upcoming Olympic Games, the American team, I think, is going to be really good. You know, obviously a few names missing, but similar to Canada, when you have so much depth on that team, there's going to be players that don't make it. For them, goaltending, Connor Hellebuck, Jake Ottinger, Jeremy Swayman. So really good group there on the back end. Another solid group, Brock Faber, Noah Hannafin, Quinn Hughes, Seth Jones, Charlie McAvoy, Jake Sanderson, Jacob Slavin, and Zach Wierenski. Now, we know how good Slavin can be when healthy. And then up front, Boldy, Connor, Eichel, Gensel, Hughes, Keller, Larkin, Matthews, JT Miller, Brock Nelson, Tage Thompson, the Kachucks, and Trocheck. So pretty good group there. We'll see. You know, right now, if I'm doing power rankings, and take this with a grain of salt because I am born in Canada, I like the Canadian roster. I like the American squad too, though. I think that's a pretty good group. For the Swedes, you've got Gustafsson, Markstrom, and Wallstedt, two Minnesota Wild goaltenders between the pipes. Rasmus Anderson, Broberg, Brodin, Dahlin, Ekman Larson, Forsling, Hedman, and Carlson on the back end. I'm pretty interested to see what Erik Karlsson does. Be with a talented group. Up front for Sweden, Jesper Bratt. You've got Carlson, Eriksson Ek, Forsberg, Pontus Holmberg, Kempe, Landeskog, which very cool to see in, Gabriel Landeskog's journey in the NHL. Lindholm, Nylander, Pettersson. Just one Pettersson. Cool. Raquel, Lucas Raymond, Wenberg, and Mika Zibanejad. And then for the Finns, we'll see what happens with this group. Some good players. If I was doing the 4 power rankings of all these teams, I might have them 4th. But I do really like how they play. UPL, Lankinen, Saros between the pipes, Heiskanen, Jokiharju, Lettinen, Lindell, Mata, Madanpalo, Mikkola, and Ristolainen on the back end. Aho, Armia, Granlund, Halla, Hintz, Kakko, Kapanen, Kiviranta, Lekkinen, Lundell, Ustarainen, Rantanen, Teravainen, Tolvanen for the Finns. So some good groups. So we were talking about it on Fantasy Frenzy with you guys and threw out the question to our inbox at 1-833-401-1440. A lot of people liking Canada, which no surprise. It's going to be a really fun tournament. Gets going on the 11th of February. Canada will play their first game on the 12th. Last night in the college football world, we had some absolute beautiful games. It was, actually, I shouldn't say that. We had one really good game. A couple blowouts, some surprises, which I think is really good to see when it comes to just the parity in college football. I think the story of the day has to be the Indiana Hoosiers, though. With what they've been able to do, Kurt Cignetti took over the program 2 years ago. Obviously, we know what they did last year with Curtis Rourke. He ends up getting drafted by the 49ers, but they just keep it rolling here. And that, to me, is something that is really cool. Like, you think about college football, and you have the powerhouses, the Georgia, the Alabama, the SEC teams, Oregon, obviously really good. But to turn Indiana, and Declan Kruger will bring you on here. Like, I'll say Miami. We know what they have. Like, name recognition, the U. They've had so many great players. Not to trash the Hoosiers, but how long has it been? Because I was going back through their history. They've had good seasons. But what he's been able to do as their head coach in the last couple of years, unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, they've had some. Listen, coming into the season, they were the losingest team in FBS history. Like, no college football FBS program in the history of college football had lost more games than Indiana. And in 2 years, he has turned them into a legitimate powerhouse and the odds-on betting favorite to win the national championship. Like, I was trying to think of a comparison because there really isn't one for the NHL, right? Like, it's all pro sports. There's parity. If you're coaching, the Rangers versus the Blue Jackets, like, you're an NHL coach. But it's different in college football because the allocation of resources is different. The history is different. Recruiting classes are, like, it's just so much different. The best thing I would maybe try to make as a comparison is, like, if he took the worst team in the AHL and in 2 years turned them into the Florida Panthers. And that might be a little generous because they haven't won a natty yet, or they might not win at all. Obviously, they still have at max 2 games ahead of them. But that's like the best kind of way I can put it into perspective. Like, what he has done with this Indiana program, absolutely, no question, one of, if not, and probably the best coaching job I've seen in my life of being a sports fan. Like, it's just, it's really tough to put into perspective for people who don't understand the college game. No disrespect to, anyone listening who might not know the college game or the college atmosphere that well, but it's incredible. And what they did to Alabama, sweet justice, Connor Halley, sweet justice.
I knew you might say something about that, but yeah, I mean, it was good. The one I like, if I'm trying to think of comparables in other sports, because like you said, like, it's tough in hockey, in a college football thing where, there's that 4-year span where, I guess with redshirt, it could be 5 years, but to turn it around as quick as he did. And I was kind of reading up, like, watching his old presser when he was introduced. And I said it earlier today, but the line, like, about recruiting, whether it was out of high school or other programs, like, I win games, Google me. Like, it was such a good line because
yeah,
it's true. And so if you look at, like, I'm going to bring this one up and correct me if I'm wrong. Was it Leicester?
Yeah, Leicester City.
Like, out of nowhere went on to win.
Great comparison.
Like, that was the one where it's like, and I don't know their history, so those soccer fans, footy fans, don't come at me. But it wasn't, they weren't Man U, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, right? They just came on a run and had 1 year where it was awesome. And you're like, how do you turn it around like that? Like, and especially in college football, I just think it's so impressive. And you said James Madison was kind of that was where he coached previously, and he just brought a lot of the players that way.
Yeah, he had been the wide receiver coach at Alabama under Saban. He had taken a job at I think it was a D2 school. It might have even been D3. Was head coach there for a little bit.
Indiana of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, something like IUP or something.
Yeah.
And then he went to James Madison, and then from there went to Indiana and just turned them into, the powerhouse they are, the powerhouse they look to be. Another funny thing, you mentioned his quote when he was like, "I win, Google me."
Yeah.
He had another one at his introductory, kind of presser, his introductory event at Indiana. He was like, "I'm here and we're going to turn Indiana around." And everyone was like, "Woo." And he was like, "And no Purdue." And everyone was like, "Woo." And he was like, "And no Michigan." And everyone was like, and he was like, "And no Ohio State." And everyone was like, whoa, we don't know about all that. And lo and behold, in 2 short years, he's done everything he said he would. So incredible job.
Hoosiers, I think he also said. Yeah, it's been really fun and a cool story. And then I think, if you're an NFL fan, what Mendoza's done, pretty impressive. Looks like he's going to be a Raider. That's how I'm thinking it's going to turn out, but I guess we'll have to wait and see for sure. Some other news, the Edmonton Oilers. How about that? They're in action tomorrow, taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. It's going to be a weird 1:30 start. So pregame coverage with Walks, Paulson, and Ferraro is going to get going at 12:30. They recall Quinn Hudson and Ike Howard from the Bakersfield Condors. Quinn Hudson this year, we saw him a little bit. 26 games played down with Bakersfield. 19 goals, 32 points. He's been very good for the Condors. And Howard, in his time, 16 games played, 10 goals, 23 points, staying out of the penalty box, and is a +12. So reinforcements for the Edmonton Oilers, trying to get something going here, a little more depth. That we looked at it earlier today, and I'd be curious to know your thoughts. Let us know at 1-833-414-1440. What do your lines look like? Do you have McDavid and Hyman? One of the young players. We move Nuge down to third center. You can give Draisaitl, Bud Coles in. Maybe it's Roslovic. Have a Savoy dropped in there somewhere as well. I mean, it gives you a few more options to work with, and you've got some shooters, which I think this Oilers team needs. Not the biggest of guys. Not going to probably go in the corners and dominate that fashion. But guys can shoot the puck. So it's I'm curious to see how it all works out for this team. They were on the ice today, and we'll hear some comments from coaching staff later on in the show. Rick texting in says Indiana is totally a result of the transfer portal. Now, like Declan, sorry to put you on the spot here, but were there a lot of guys coming from outside programs, like not with that connection?
Yeah, so like a lot of, I wouldn't say totally to address Rick's text. And also like the guys they went out and got from the transfer portal, like when Cignetti went there, they went and got a bunch of JMU players.
Mm-hmm.
They got Mendoza from Cal. He was a transfer from there. Previously, Curtis Rourke, a transfer from Ohio State. So they've definitely been a benefactor of the transfer portal, but so is every school. And like you look at a school like Ohio State, they went out and they just got the best running back in the country in Quinchon Judkins the other year. They go out and get the best safety in Caleb Downs. Like schools, it used to be these big name schools, if they had a problem, they would just kind of have to live with the problem and mask it with coaching. Now these big name schools can go out and buy someone to fix the problem. Indiana didn't have that. Like they didn't go out and buy a bunch of 5-star recruits. They used the transfer portal the same way everyone else did, but it's not like they were bringing in these 4 or 5-star recruits. Like they don't have a single 5-star recruit on their roster. I think they only have 5 4-star recruits. Like if you look at the talent gap between them and Alabama, it's like 18 5-stars, 40 4-stars or something like that. Indiana, no 5 stars, like 8 4-stars. So yeah, they've used the transfer portal. Everyone has. They haven't gone out and just got these big name 5-star top of the country recruits.
Yeah. And I'm curious, like if you are looking to transfer, you probably see what they did last season. It's an intriguing place to go to. And also, I don't know, Declan, but like how many 5-star recruits are they bringing in? Like you go to Alabama.
Indiana?
Yeah. You go to all these other programs, like, okay, maybe there's a little more of a battle here. I go to Indiana. Maybe it's my time to shine here.
I'm going to look up what their recruiting ranking is for 2026. Give me a sec.
You take a look. Elvis said, hey, how about shout out to us Ole Miss fans? Yeah. Rebels, they looked good. Uniform wise, I thought it was a clean look. Taking down the Georgia Bulldogs. Trinidad Chambliss, what can you say, man? Like when they needed a play, he was there to make it. 360 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air. Harrison Wallace, pretty dang good game, dribbling as well. So yeah, I think, when they were showing the Georgia Bulldogs comebacks, you couldn't help but notice the Ole Miss game was in there. So I thought, okay, Bulldogs probably feeling pretty confident. Maybe scored a little bit too soon. Obviously scored a little bit too soon. Gave the Rebels enough time to march down the field, and we'll see what happens next. It sets up a very interesting Final Four because Declan, like
Mhm.
I think I'm leaning Oregon because the Herbert factor for me selfishly.
For sure.
But these other games here, it's not the traditional powerhouses, and to me, that's refreshing. I like seeing an Ole Miss team get in there. Indiana, Miami, we know back in the day was dominant, and Oregon's had a pretty good run as of late. But I like the Final Four teams here.
For reference, Indiana for next season, they have no 5-star recruits again, 7 4-star recruits, and 15 3-star recruits. For 2027, no 5 stars, no 4 stars, 1 3-star. So it is still pretty, what is that? Like hard hat and vest?
Yeah.
Kind of build at Indiana. Yeah. As far as the games go, I mean, who knows? Indiana, when they played Oregon, they beat them up so physically. Like they just beat them up at every point in the game. They bullied them. Oregon's a very, very good team, and they're a very, very talented team. I'm sure they can right the ship. But if you're Indiana, it's like no one has been able to stop Indiana from doing what they want to do all season. Hopefully it can change with Oregon. I'm an Oregon fan, but it's kind of where I come out on it.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? For the fans of the NFL draft, I mean, we talked about Mendoza already. Dante Moore is a guy who's being projected to be QB2 amongst the eligible prospects, assuming he does decide, because he is still a redshirt sophomore, so he could technically come back and play 2 more years of college football. Oregon has their next QB up, don't they, Declan?
Yes.
On the roster.
Hold on, I got to find his name.
But I think he was like a pretty high recruit as well, and that just kind of seems to be what Oregon's doing right now. Like draft that guy, or not draft that guy, have that guy leave to the draft, bring in that next top recruit, and
Luke Moga.
Luke Moga.
Yep. He was a. I mean, I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
I won't.
Well, anyway, we know the pipeline is strong for the Oregon Ducks, and why wouldn't it be? Great facility, great jerseys, great history right now, winning, and a lot of pro Ducks right now having some success. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Donovan Paulson with you here. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by Play Alberta. Again, a loaded show for you today. Still to come, we will be joined by Jason Gregor. He'll talk some Oilers with us. Spec, we've got Low Tide, Cam Tate in the 2-minute warning. Craig Button will join us. Obviously talk some World Juniors as Canada begins their pursuit for the gold. Quarterfinal action today, taking on Slovakia. That one's going to get going at 6:30. We'll also be joined by Lorianne Munzer, Olympic gold medalist, and Mike Rupp's going to join us as well as we look around the NHL just a little bit. We'll get his thoughts. Obviously, he being out east, sees the Philadelphia Flyers a little bit more, get a little bit of a breakdown on that one as well. We'll take a break here. When we come back, more text, and we'll be joined by former NHLer Mike Rupp. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
When the ground freezes, you wonder how anything can get done. And instead of staying outside in temperatures that would make a polar bear cry, you head inside where it's toasty and warm. But that's not what GS Construction does. Because while the ground freezes above, we plan below, rebuilding and revitalizing the systems that keep our communities working year after year. Now, don't worry. GS Construction promises to do everything safely and efficiently, and we'll wear our extra warm clothing outside. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Send off your holiday break with Oil Kings Hockey at Rogers Place. Family fun that's second to none, starting at just $20 a seat.
This Family Fun Sunday, your Edmonton Oil Kings get a rare visit from the Seattle Thunderbirds.
Enjoy the Kids Fun Zone with face painting and bouncy castles.
Plus, score Calma Kids food combos for $10 or less. The value is king-sized.
Edmonton Oil Kings, Seattle Thunderbirds, WHL Hockey for the holidays. Family Fun Sunday at 4.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20. Save on Dave game pricing now at oilkings.ca.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Donovan Paulson with you here from the Sports 1440 studios in West Edmonton Mall. Great to have you along for the show. Lots to get to still. Gregor will be by, Low Tide Spec, Craig Button, Lorianne Munzer, Wanya Gretz from Oilers Nation will be in studio as well. We'll get to 5 questions with Declan Kruger, and get your text in 1-833-401-1440. Right now, we're going to get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Rides Charter Company. Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches safely taking your team or group to their next destination. Visit silentrides.ca for more information. We bring in Stanley Cup champion, NHL Network analyst Mike Rupp. Mike, Happy New Year. How are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. It's been a few fun days in the hockey world. Obviously, the great action going on, but you got the World Juniors and then the Olympic announcements starting earlier this week with Team Canada. Today you had the United States, you had the Finns and the Swedes. Let's start with the Americans. I think you're very familiar with a lot of these guys, obviously. What did you make of the announcement and the players selected to the team?
Yeah, so I guess they're a little bit surprised on probably the Adam Fox not being on the squad. I think that some of it kind of makes sense to me in regards to what you're trying to build as far as a team, what the needs are, and some of the needs and some of the high-end things Adam Fox does, they kind of have some of the D that can cover that. Then it kind of gets into the intangibles and other parts where, I don't know. It just didn't that was one that I thought he'd be going, probably not even being top 6, but being part of the 8. So that one was a little bit shocking. I had Jason Robertson on up front just because I thought that this was going to be a U.S. team that wanted to bring a bigger team, although Jason Robertson isn't an overly physical player by any stretch. He's just a longer reach, bigger body. But this is something very interesting to Bill Guerin. The GM of Team USA said, we're building a hockey team here, and we're not building an all-star team. So, but Jason Robertson's been absolutely on fire, torching the NHL with his goal scoring ability over the last stretch. So Those are kind of two that I think most people are going to talk about. But this is a team that got pretty darn close, and they had a lot of things not really going their way as far as they didn't have Austin Matthews, Jack Eichel, Jack Hughes scoring goals at Four Nations. So I think they think, look how close we got. We didn't really have all of our big dogs firing offensively. So yeah, it's very interesting. It's quite a bit of fodder for everybody to talk about the snubs, but those are the two big ones for Team USA.
Yeah, I mean, we were certainly doing it on New Year's Eve, talking about the guys that were there, and I think we kind of got that similar message, trying to build a team and not just an all-star team, like you said. And yeah, I mean, and if you go back to the Four Nation face-off, if it's not for Jordan Binnington in overtime, like the state, you guys had so many chances to win that game, and Binnington just rose to the occasion. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good group going forward. If you were in charge, because we had the debate there, do you build a team of the top talent and ask guys maybe to go outside their comfort role, killing penalties, playing a checking role, or are you more of the side that, let's bring in these guys that do those and have those skill sets?
Yeah, I think it's more that the latter. I mean, you're sitting there in these situations that you can't just bring it. You got to kind of cover your bases as far as, all right, well, we've got some layers here for, let's say, for an example, on the back end, you've got a guy who can run PP1. You got to obviously have a guy on power play 2, but then you certainly got to have guys who play the power play to, even if they're not going to necessarily at the Olympics, but just on their respective NHL teams can. And you got to make sure you have all those things covered in case you hit some injuries or whatever that may be. But I think it's really tough up front. And when you're speaking about some of these teams, Team Canada, Team USA, that's the ones we give the most attention to. You got to be able to provide something different. So I think the first and foremost is, can you play wing? Can you play center? Can you move around? You have versatility that way. And if the answer is yes, you probably got a chance still when that process is going on. Then it gets into, can you kill penalties? Every single person that is going to be in the conversation for any of these teams, they're going to be on the power play. I mean, this is the best of the best. So it's hard to just generally measure on offense, because all these guys are really great. They're the elite players in the world in the National Hockey League. So I think it ends up being, all right, what other things can you apply? Plus, I also think there's certain players, for just an example, some might be like kind of surprised that maybe a Vinny Trocheck makes Team USA. I had him kind of coming off from the Four Nations, but Vinny Trocheck's that type of player that, yes, he's used to playing top 6 minutes with the New York Rangers, but he's also capable of adapting his game where if you go to Four Nations and his minutes drop significantly because he's playing on a fourth line, he can do that. I'm not sure everybody can do that. So if you had, say, a Jason Robertson in a position, can Jason Robertson play a role if he's playing 12 minutes as opposed to playing 18 minutes? I don't know. And I'm sure that all that goes into the decision-making for both countries when they're making these teams.
Yeah, that Robertson one surprised me as well. He's been an Oilers killer. Like every time he's playing Edmonton, it seems like he's scoring a couple. Mike Rupp joining us from the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. Let's talk a little bit about the Canadian team. And, you talk about snubs, Scheifele, Schaefer in Edmonton. I think Zach Hyman, a few people would have liked to see a ride shotgun with Connor McDavid in Italy. What did you make of the Canadian announcement?
Yeah, so I think both United States and Canada was pretty happy with their decor in both tournaments. But dating back to Four Nation, and you had another slot there on the back end. So I think you saw that pretty evident in what they were doing here for Team Canada. So up front, I think it went from real quickly this season to Macklin Celebrini's in the conversation to, I think most people would say, oh, he's on the team. So I don't think anybody was really surprised that he was named. And I think it's gotten to the point now where this isn't just bring a kid along and get the experience because he's the future. Like, this is a player that I think could tip the scales in their favor. I mean, that's how dominant he's been this year. But yeah, I mean, it gets tough when you're looking around there. And, I was thinking, for a Zach Hyman standpoint, just that's a guy that can do a little bit of everything. He can play a heavy game. He can finish checks. He can obviously score goals. He's got the continuity with Connor McDavid. So there's a lot of things when you're talking about stacking things up and looking and comparing the different players. He's got a lot in his favor. But yeah, you just look around. Mark Scheifele's going to be the one that gets a lot of talk. But I just don't know where you go with some of these. I mean, you're talking as much as USA was trying to build a hockey team, the pool and depth that Canada can draw from is still elite. I mean, they are number one by far as even with the quote unquote snubs for Team Canada. I mean, you could build that out for 25 players deep. You look at Team USA, you can't do that. I mean, once you start getting after a couple more names that weren't there, like a Cole Caulfield or Alex DeBrincat, like it starts dropping off. So you're going to have some really good players left out. I like their team. I like the add of Tom Wilson. That was a huge one for me. And I think an add of Tom Wilson kind of closes the door maybe on Sam Bennett. And that's why maybe a reason why he's not there. But you got to go with guys that have been hot lately too. And Tom is. The big question mark for me is going to be in goal what they do. Do you just start off with Jordan Binnington because of the past and what he did? Like you mentioned, Connor, how good he was in Four Nation. But they picked the right goalies. I feel much more confident going into this tournament with Canada's goaltending now than I did in Four Nations.
Totally agree. As Mike Rupp, former NHLer, joining us here on the show, I want to ask you, because I have no idea, 3 less feet. How much is that going to change the game from your perspective? Someone who played in the NHL pro level, because I talk about it, I hear other people talk about it. We have no idea. What do you think?
I think it'll be felt. It'll certainly be felt. I don't know how much is it going to throw teams off completely? Like, no, I probably not. But I think as far as a fast game that was already going to be fast is going to be a little bit faster. It's hard to say when you're going on, I guess, shrunken ice, because I've played international where you go on bigger ice. That's a huge difference, and it's more significant than what we're just talking. But so yeah, I think it'll come into play. I think it's gonna be an adjustment. It's gonna be an adjustment period. I think it fuels and feeds certain guys' games. I mean, just you mentioned Tom Wilson. You're a strong forechecker, you're loving that. I mean, are you kidding me? I get another couple feet that I can get on a defenseman, and that's more time and space I can close. So I think a forecheck game that we usually don't see being that prevalent in the Olympics, I think will be very prevalent in this Olympics. So I think it'll be an adjustment, but I don't expect it to totally derail teams and they don't know how to play.
Let's look at the NHL right now, and there can't be a better story than the Buffalo Sabres, winners of their last 10, turn things around. And I feel like everyone kind of has a soft spot for Buffalo because the fan base seems outstanding. They've just been so bad for so long, despite having a lot of players you actually like. What do you think has been the biggest spark for the Sabres turnaround?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know what the biggest spark is. I think this is a team that we probably all thought were going to be better than they were earlier in the season, and just is kind of felt like each of the last number of years they're ready to take a step and they've just been stuck in the mud. So you nailed it though, Connor. Like they've got individuals that I love. I love some individuals on their team. For whatever reason, they haven't been able to put it together as a team, but they are now, and they're finding ways to win these games. And 10 in a row is no joke. So you got to kind of pay attention to what they're doing. And you're right, there's a soft spot for the Buffalo Sabres, because I think the NHL playoffs are better when the Buffalo Sabres are in it, because this is one of the most rabid fan bases in hockey. I mean, this is Buffalo's probably the closest that a United States-based team can feel like a Canadian market. I know it's not a huge city, but the fans there and the hockey and what hockey means to the city of Buffalo, it's from youth hockey through it. It's a way of life like it is in Canada. So I love having them in the hunt here. Is it going to last? Are they going to make it? I don't know. I want to root for them, but I've also have seen so many times where they can go on runs like this, but then they can also drop 7 of 8 very easily. So they've gotten themselves into the fight now. They're in the mix. They're in the hunt, however you want to define that. Now they just got to continue to play a good brand of hockey the rest of the way. I'm excited because usually we see this push when they're figured out and it's February. So the fact that we're able to see this push in December, I think is an improvement, I guess.
I would agree. I mean, it's awesome to see. I feel like everyone we talked to is like, well, happy for the Sabres and what they've been able to do. And, that fire sale that we were expecting is going to be delayed a little bit longer at least. And then you look at just the Atlantic Division as a whole. I think from first to last, 9 points separating Detroit kind of shows that 7-3 in their last 10. Now they're atop the division. Toronto's won 4 of their last 5. You saw the Austin Matthews hat trick. What do you think about the Leafs? Are they turning it around here, turning that corner?
I mean, I've had them a playoff team the whole time, and I don't know. I mean, that's not good enough for Toronto fans to be a playoff team. But I think the way that the season has gone at different stages, I think that was in question. So I think they are turning it around. I think they will continually get better as the season goes on, and to what level and how dangerous can they be in the playoffs. I mean, they got to figure that out inside their locker room. And they've dealt with injuries, I thought, decent. In a decent way, and they're starting to play better, like you mentioned. So when I look at that Atlantic, that's the one that's interesting to me because Tampa's battled their way back into the mix. Well, let's start with Detroit. Detroit at the top. I don't know where Detroit finishes in the regular season, but I think they're in the top 3 in the Atlantic. Tampa has battled their way back up, and I think they're one of those teams that come April, you're going to be thinking is a true contender in the East. And then you start looking at I don't know, the Florida Panthers. I don't know if you could ever sleep on them, and they're certainly going to be getting better as this season goes on. And then we just talked about Buffalo, what Buffalo is in the middle of right now. What does that mean? Who are they for real? There's one team that makes me concerned that all these other teams are getting better. It's the Montreal Canadiens. I don't know if they've got enough because it's going to feel to me. It feels like they're going to have to hang on. And that's a bad spot to be in is kind of in hang on mode. And you're kind of hoping that other teams aren't finding their groove. I just don't know if Montreal has that in them to kind of finish the season the way they started this one. So that's a team that I've got a lot of focus on. I don't know if Montreal makes it this year.
Former NHLer, Stanley Cup champion Mike Rupp joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. Get your text into 1-833-401-1440. Mike, just looking at the Edmonton Oilers here. Today, they recall Ike Howard and Quinn Hudson from Bakersfield. They've had a few of their vets on this team that have underperformed all year long, outside of a few games, I would say, Mangiapane and Trent Frederick. What does it do for a group, you think, to bring in a couple guys who have been having success at the AHL level?
Yeah, I think it's it's funny because I was just looking at that in the recalls, and that's what is the line? Is it Savoy and those two that you just mentioned? I think that when you have players play together in the American Hockey League, I've seen it on different teams where you get ravished with injuries, and you can have like an American Hockey League line come up and play together, or even 2/3 of a line. It's kind of crazy. Like I've seen it work in the past, just because it's a different league, of course. But just to know and be familiar with one another and what your tendencies are, I think is really beneficial because I remember getting called up into the NHL, and it's an interesting spot. You're excited. You have a ton of energy, ready to do something. You know that you have to show something, but then you're also playing with teammates you haven't played with, and you're playing at a level you've never played. So and some of these guys, they have had games. So it's just a tough place to navigate, but just having some familiarity, being able to come up with guys you've played with in the American League, that could be a really good spot. So I think if you ever have that opportunity and teams are able to do it, bring up a line for the American Hockey League. And it's kind of fun too, because it's you kind of you against the world mentality. And, I think a lot of good things can happen when you have that type of attitude.
And then I guess on the flip side, when you have two vets in different situations, obviously Trent Frederick has a lot of stability here. You got the 8-year contract extension, but they haven't been able to find a spot for him where he has had a role defined consistently. Mangiapane, same sort of thing. Got up there on the second line with Draisaitl last game and then only played 3 shifts. Like, what do you do to get these guys going?
It's tough because you're on a moving train. I mean, this is halfway through the season, and you're going to try. You're going to do everything you can. And there's years, especially you mentioned on Trent Frederick's deal, that at some point you have to make what's the best decision for this season and this season alone, and not even worry about the future and what that means for guys that are on your roster. It's you're trying to implement and give different situations and give longer runway, put them in healthy spots. Because there's times where you're dinged up, and you can kind of use that as a opportunity to put guys in different spots and give them different looks. But if you're not getting the results, at some point you've got to just do what's best for the team in the now. So I think as a player, you're kind of getting in that the next 20 games. This is going to be a team that's going to start figuring out, all right, you go into the last 20 games of the season, you want to figure out like who we are. And these are our lines, these are our roles, these are our guys you play with on a consistent basis. You want to start trying to figure that stuff out. So, I like the fact that you move them around, you give them different looks, but it's kind of the clock is ticking here, and you got to start finding some chemistry with some of these players.
Absolutely. Well, Mike, thanks so much for doing this today. Really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you next week when Jason returns.
Awesome. Thanks, Connor.
There you go. Mike Rupp, former NHLer, Stanley Cup champion, and NHL Network analyst. We did have some text rolling in here. West End Juan says, guys, I think there's better players that would be at the Olympics than Hyman to play with 97. Hyman is a great in front of the net player for Oilers, but like to 97 playing with bigger, faster, more skilled guys. Your thoughts? I mean, we saw it at the Four Nation Faceoff. I mean, it's tough to get chemistry, and it was that way with Sidney Crosby too. We know that Chris Kunitz got the tag along to the Olympics to play with Crosby. I just think when you have that chemistry in what can be a 6-game tournament, you want some familiarity. So that for me, that's why Zach Hyman I would have taken alongside with him, put him on his wing, let them go do their thing. It might seem easy to play with McDavid or say just bigger, faster guys will have success with them, but it doesn't always work that way. And I also think that Zach Hyman, 50 goals this year coming back, he's been great. He doesn't really, to me, have too many deficiencies in his game. Like, you put him out there in a lot of situations. We saw it, and I've brought this up, on repeat here, but go back to the playoffs last year when he was on the third line. He wasn't scoring, but he was hitting, right? Like, his floor is very high. You see a lot of guys have a bad game, and you don't notice them out there. I don't think that happens with Zach Hyman. So that's why I would have said that I would have liked him on the team. Obviously, Connor McDavid's going to play with incredibly talented players no matter what. This is going to be a loaded team. Tiger says 197-foot players. Yeah, you don't need a guy with a good 200-foot game, just 197. And quickly here, Max Power texting in. What goes up must come down. Buffalo won't keep winning like this. No team does. Eventually, they'll slow down. What if other teams step up? This is what happens. This happened to the Wings twice during their 7-game win streaks. Well, that's it, Max Power. There's no guarantees, right? I think, you win 10, you get yourself back in that conversation because they are in a wild card playoff spot right now, the Buffalo Sabres. But now you don't have to win 10 in a row. You win 2, lose 1. Maybe you win 3, you lose 2. Like, you just kind of keep your head above water and you'll be in that position. But I think they deserve a lot of respect for getting back into it. What happens in the next 10, like you say, we'll have to wait and see because, it could be a drop-off, and I don't think anybody would be overly surprised. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll go in the mind with Olympic gold medalist Lori Ann Munzer. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, also streaming on our YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, also Twitch, brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat, if you need it immediately with no overtime rates, if you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
When picking a New Year's resolution, try to avoid things you have no influence over.
Like bringing home the cup? That would be awesome.
But completely outside your control. Instead, pick something you can control, like bringing home some Wilhauk beef jerky.
That would also be awesome. But what if we brought the cup home to Canada and it was filled with Wilhauk beef jerky?
Okay, I'll allow it.
Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't win cups with salad.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson and 69-cent wings. Play, score, and win every game, and you can see more at OnTheRocksYay.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$2:47. Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Donovan Paulson with you here. The show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight's Lotto Max, $46 million. Go check it out. PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, use your game sense. Text line is 1-833-401-1440. Shout out to everybody tuning in on old YouTube. Lance, Ace, everyone else. Ace, I heard you got put in timeout. 30 minutes of non-commenting. I fought for you, and if I knew how to break you out of that timeout, I would do so, but it's out of my control. Keep the text rolling in, though. We'll get to those as soon as we get an opportunity. Right now, we are going to be joined by Olympic gold medalist Lori Ann Munzer. If you have any questions, you can send them in 1-833-401-1440 as we go in the mine for Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service tag, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net. Lorianne, good afternoon. Happy New Year. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Happy Friday to you.
Hey, thank you. You as well. How was the New Year's and the holidays? You get up to much?
It has been fantastic. A little bit of a break. So did some stuff chilling here at the house. Had some really good food. took some food over to the neighbors as well because they were over in New Zealand. They got home late on Christmas Day, so we stuffed and filled their fridge. Made some apple, we call it Apple Betty, but it's actually called Apple Crisp, one of my signature dessert dishes. And just the smiles on their faces said it. That was all that was said. So that was perfect.
That was awesome. Now, do you have any New Year's resolutions, anything like that?
Yes, I promise never to make a New Year's resolution. I have never, ever, ever made one. And the reason for it is, 95% of them never last, Connor. So I think it's a silly idea. I think it's every day is Christmas, every day is New Year's. And I think if we can connect with people, just by our presence, by cheering them on, by listening, I think that's the biggest gift that we can give each other. And I think we need to do more of it, right? One of the things when I came to Edmonton, this was 26 years ago, I could not believe going to the grocery store. They ask you, ma'am, do you need help with your groceries? Taking them out to your car. And I'm thinking, what the heck is going on? People look at you, they smile in the street, they still open the doors. This is the center of the universe. So I think that's pretty cool. And I think we need to do a little bit more of that.
I'm kind of with you on the whole New Year's resolution. Like, I have had friends who said, I'm going to start going to the gym January 1st. And I said, well, why don't you go now? Like, get a head start on it. Do it now. You don't need to wait for that day. Don't put it off any further. Do it now. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're going to talk a little bit about the Olympics because we're only, 4 weeks away before it all gets going. And for a lot of sports, a lot of teams not really announcing it. Like, we've seen it with the NHL. You've got Sweden, Finland, Canada, United States. But Lorianne, for those athletes who, are a little bit unsure about their plans in the next 5 weeks, what are they doing to keep sane?
Oh, I think they do everything except think about that decision. And I think the other thing that they're thinking about is they're preparing as if they're going. And that is something that I always share with my athletes. Prepare, plan as if you're going, and then do everything in your power to execute everything around you, your performance time, your race time, your downtime, your recovery time, family time, social time, and do it to the best of your ability. And just make sure that you have a bit of a counter plan too if something goes sideways, because invariably, Connor, that something is going to go sideways. But also think about it in 3 ways. Number one, think about it as if you're going. So do all of the preparation. And then also think about, well, if you don't get selected, then what are you going to do? Are you going to camp out for, February 6th to the 22nd and just be an Olympic junkie, right? Just get everything that you can on every channel, follow every athlete. And then there's the third scenario, which is, I don't know what it is, but I know that there is always a third possibility. If you don't make it, if you do make it, I don't know, maybe you get called as an analyst or a reporter or something like that. I really don't know. But if you think of all of those things, one of them is going to happen. Where you focus and where you put your energy is usually where things are going to happen. It's outside of your control of, well, can I help right now over the next 2 weeks to make my selection happen? Well, it's probably out of your control. Everything you have been doing leading up to today and then tomorrow leading up to that day, it's already done. Because what we're doing today is helping tomorrow's performances or deals or preparation or even going out for a 10-minute walk if that was your New Year's resolution, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just part of the preparation comes back to what is in your circle of control. And a lot of people go, I don't have any control. Actually, you do. You just may have not written it out. And that's one of the biggest things that I work with the athletes is I get them to write out, how do you want it to go? Script it both ways, good, bad, ugly, in between, what you can counter and what you can't. And then, so what are you going to do when you get the call?
So for the athletes that are going, and I'm sure this will be kind of varying sport to sport, but you're waiting for that countdown. We're a month out. What are the last minute preparations you're doing physically and mentally?
There's not too much, Connor, that you can do physically. You're pretty much there. You've got about a 4 to 6 week window that we call a periodization plan of where you start fine tuning. And most athletes will go the opposite end. Instead of reducing a bit, is they start jamming and overloading more and more and more, because how we normally typically think is more is better, but that's not necessarily the case. It's actually the opposite. Less is more. So it's more quality over quantity. And that's the hardest thing as an athlete, is when you start coming into that almost, I'm going to the Olympics phase, is we're so not used to resting, relaxing. It's always go, 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 push, 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 right? And what do you do to counter that? And if you don't have a plan of how am I filling my time, what am I doing? I think you've heard me say this before, the drunken monkey on acid, your mind, the stuff between the ears, which controls 95% of your outcomes, is going to take the show and run away with it on you. So if you can keep yourself, it's not necessarily occupied, but where you're in control of your activities, and rest and recovery is an activity, like sleeping and napping is one of the best things that you can do alongside of eating and training, is the recovery part is so important, because you're going to be asked at the Olympics to perform. You are under the microscope in a pressure cooker, and it's like, all right, what are you going to do? It's either going to go for you or it may go against you. And you're always looking to see, how could I improve, or how could I have this situation go in my favor?
Lorianne Munzer joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in, of course, Olympic gold medalist, results and mindset coach. Now, just to go back to what we were talking about, for some of those athletes that are in limbo, just sitting there waiting, do you think it's a good decision to keep it this close, or would you prefer that maybe they know 3-4 months out?
Oh, I think it's a no-brainer. I think if you know 3-4 months ahead, number one, it just gets your mind to go, oh, thank you. And then you can release that pressure cooker. And then you can really start to focus on, what do I need to do to be at my best on, February 6th or 7th or 8th, or whatever the last day is, whatever the day is of your events. And it allows you that time to prepare even better, so that all of your ducks are lined up, all of your pucks are in a row, and you know exactly where you're going, what are you doing, when do you leave, how much ice time do you have, when are you training, when are you practicing? And when you know those things, Connor, your mind just it relaxes versus being totally stressed out. And as athletes, if we can mitigate or even reduce some of those pressure cooker situations, it allows the athletes to just play on a whole new level and bring maybe something they've been working on that we haven't watched or seen them, in performance time of, hey, we're playing at our best and we get to do what we love to do.
So why do you think they do wait so long? Like, I know in some sports, you might say, okay, we're at a team sport. Like, someone can play their way onto the team, and we know they're having a really good season. We saw that with Jerome McGinley way back in 2002. But if in some sports, I'm curious why they would make these athletes wait and think about it for so long.
I don't know the real reason. Sometimes, Connor, I think about it and it just goes, well, that's the way we've always done it, so we're just going to keep going. Sometimes it's a funding issue. I mean, we're into a new year, so I don't know, maybe there's that. But the thing is, who's going to go. The support staff, the medical staff. You've got to run it like a business, and it's just not last minute. I don't know. I just scratch my head so often just going, why do we put the athletes and give them the least amount of opportunity to prepare at their best? I mean, some of these athletes, this may be their first and last Olympics. For some of them, it's multiple Olympics, and they just go and they roll their eyes and we go, all right, we've been here before. We know the deal of how it goes. I think it's just been, that's the way we've done it. And why do we want to change the model? I think it would be cool if you change the model and you set your athletes up for the ultimate success of coming home with gold, silver, bronze, a personal best, and just to have those successes that they know they've got in them.
I'm totally with you. That just seems like almost common sense. Just let them prep. Like, okay, I'm going. This is what it's going to be. I don't have to stress about it, and I'll be ready when the time comes. Now, you did go to 2 Olympic Games, so I'm going to ask you this. If you were speaking to someone going to their first games, what would be your biggest advice when it comes to all the distractions and the attention you're going to be receiving?
Oh, wow. I would find a buddy in your sport that has been there before, that has done an Olympic before, or speak to somebody or give me a call. Number one, there's going to be so many distractions. Number two, make sure you have a plan of how are you going to be spending your days. Work it backwards from your event, race, competition dates. Find out where the medical tent is, because the massage therapists, they are the best. They have chiropractors, they have physio. That was always my go-to, because I was always doing physio, chiro, massage. And it was just that little extra tune-up. But again, it was that connection with that support staff that could really say, you know what, you're on fire, you're ready to go, you feel great. Now it's up to you to go and do it. The other thing is, when there is downtime, take advantage of it and go, what are you doing? Are you listening to music? Are you watching videos? Are you watching some films? Are you watching some of your trainings? Maybe not to reduce the distraction, but also take a look around you. Literally do a 360 and take it all in. This may be your first and only time at an Olympic game. It is a once in a lifetime opportunity that most people don't get. And just go and have fun. Just lay it on the line, go play, and just give it everything that you got.
Great advice, Lorianne. We appreciate you doing this today, and we'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely. Take care.
You as well. There you go. Lorianne Munzer, Olympic gold medalist, joining us as she does every Friday here on the Jason Gregor Show. Oh, when we come back, we'll be joined by our co-host, Wanya Gretz of Oilers Nation. We've got Craig Button from the NHL on TSN, Cam Tate's 2-minute warning, and more. Here's the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Donovan Paulson sitting in with you. Speaking of Declan Kruger, let's get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan. Brought to you by Fountain Tire. At Fountain Tire, we focus on one thing, your vehicle. From tires and wheels to oil changes and vehicle repairs, we have you covered. Visit FountainTire.com to book your appointment today.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oilers news. As Dave recalled, Ike Howard and Quinn Hudson from the Bakersfield Condors, the team in action tomorrow against the Flyers at 1:30. World Junior Hockey Championship scores with Sweden over Latvia 6-2 in the game's first quarterfinal. Action of the day, Czechia currently trailing Switzerland 1-0 with about 5:40 to go in the first period. In an hour and a half, we'll get Finland and the United States, and at 6:30, Canada and Slovakia. In the NHL, the Blues lead the Golden Knights 3-2, 17.5 to go in the third period in that one. Up next, we'll get the Winter Classic at 6 with the Rangers and Panthers. At 8:30, the Kraken and Canucks and the Wild and the Ducks. In the NBA, 2 games tipping off the action at 5 o'clock, San Antonio and Indiana, and Brooklyn and Washington. The late games in the league will see the OKC Thunder in Golden State to take on the Warriors. OKC a 10.5-point favorite for that, and Memphis in LA to take on the Lakers at 8:30 with the Lakers 3.5-point favorites. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
New Year's resolutions. We all make them. We all say we're going to start eating healthier or going to the gym or starting that new hobby. But at GS Construction, we actually follow through on our New Year's resolution because it's the same every year. We promise to set the groundwork, literally, for another year of progress and growth. And we've stuck by that resolution since 1974. So start that all-you-can-eat diet. GS Construction is going to start planning right now for the year ahead. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
An electrical solar team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you, Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
When it snows and you have a Honda, let it blow, let it blow, let it blow. Ditch the driveway shovel because right now at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo, save up to $400 on Honda dual-stage snowblowers. Take whatever winter throws at you and throw it back with iconic Honda reliability. Available for a limited time only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert and always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 EEE. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
You know, this year I can't decide what to work on for my New Year's resolution. See my confidence, my appearance, or my general happiness.
Why not improve all 3 by finally addressing your hair loss? Hi, I'm Dr. Vancellia. Receding hairlines and bald spots can chip away at your self-image, make you look older, and feel unattractive. Let's discuss your options for regaining a full natural head of hair and make this the year you get your mojo back. Book a free first consultation today at drvancellia.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight's Lotto Max, $46 million. You can also make a deposit. Use promo code Gregor50. When you deposit $50, you can get a $50 free play. PlayAlberta.ca. Also check out the Jason Gregor Show specials. Use your game sense as well. Connor Halley, Duncan Kruger, Donovan Paulson with you here at the Sports 1440 studios in West Edmonton Mall. Big news today. Quinn Hudson, Ike Hauer were called. Of course, Max Jones was sent down yesterday. Oilers Flyers tomorrow at 1:30. Pregame coverage at 12:30. Got World Juniors, Canada and Slovakia. You had the USA, Sweden, and Finland. Olympic rosters announced for men's hockey. Everything is happening. We're talking about it all. So get those texts rolling in here. 1-833-401-1440. Right now, we bring in our co-host every Friday at 3 o'clock, Mr. Wanye Gretz from Oilers Nation. Wanye, what's up?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Bravo. We made it another spin around the sun.
Yeah.
I always feel a sense of accomplishment on January 1st. We did it.
Got to celebrate.
Got to celebrate. I love it when I come in here and you boys are watching sports. This is how you envisioned the job in the media, right? You're like, I get to watch sports all day. When I come in here and there's 2 screens and there's games going, I feel like I'm in the sport with you.
Quarterfinal action at the World Juniors. We could be watching college football too, but I guess we're just doing hockey today. That's okay. I mean, I'm on board for it. Whatever. How was your New Year's?
Great. Yeah, no, can't complain.
Did you make it to midnight?
Well, it depends how you make it. Like I was awake.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like downtown cheering in the crowds. I always envy those people. Every year I'm like, maybe this year. I'm like, no, not this year. I'm going to stay home.
I will say, I think I enjoyed New Year's, like, as an adult for 5 years. And then it was like, it lost its luster. Can't get an Uber. Bars are packed. Even if you get into like a bar, the line's going to be so nuts for a drink, bathroom. So I think after about 5 years, it was like, maybe even like 2 years, I'm done with the bar. Let's go to a house party. And now I'm just like, who cares? It's just another day.
I'll give you a parenting hack. What I did this year, because I've got a 5-year-old Wanye Jr. He doesn't play around. He only thinks NHL games have 2 periods.
Yeah.
Because then we have to go to bed, right? So oftentimes dad misses the first 4 or 5 minutes of the period. I put on YouTube Times Square countdown from New Year's Eve at like 8:30 at night. I'm like, look at this. It's New Year's. 3, 2, 1. Hooray. And off he went to bed.
It's smart.
Hooray.
You made it.
We did it.
Now
Happy
it's
2016. It doesn't matter. He can't read.
Now it's bedtime.
What a
Yeah,
nice-
you got like who's an artist that's no longer with us?
Oh, too many.
Tupac's performing.
Unbelievable.
You're like, wow. Now it's bedtime.
Have you ever watched that Tupac hologram performance at Coachella?
No.
It's one of the most
yeah, probably
crazy crowd pops you'll ever hear in your life when he like materializes like he's on the Enterprise on stage, and everyone at Coachella who's been standing outside in the sun doing heavens knows what since noon's like, what? Tupac?
There was at least one person heavily impacted by drug use that was like, I knew he was alive.
Exactly.
That's
I think
crazy.
it was thousands. You could hear the rippling through the crowd. Quite funny.
We got a text here from Rowdy. Rowdy says, Happy New Year, boys. Rowdy, Happy New Year's. I'm sorry the 4-nation World Junior and especially Olympics almost mean nothing without the Russians. They would have been the best 1A, 1B teams to Canada, especially in goal. Not close. It's not best on best without Russia from Rowdy Roddy. Well, and I would agree with you. 4 Nations wasn't best on best because there was 4 teams. World Juniors is not best on best because the best Canadian players aren't there. They're playing in the NHL and other teams in certain exceptions. This is the best we can do right now. The Olympic Committee made their decision and you got to live with it. But yeah, there's a lot of very talented hockey players unable to perform and play in this event because of the politics. So that's a fair point. I'm sure a lot of people would say, how different does this tournament end up looking if they're allowed to play? Because they do have, great goaltending. I mean, you'd love to see Kucherov out there amongst other Ovi for one more goal.
Ovi versus Connor.
Yeah, I mean, those are the things you'd love to see. But unfortunately, well, hey, we won't get into politics. It's out of our control. Wanye, I meant to tell this story because it was crazy. Donovan and I had a bit of a break in between shows. So we're like, let's go for a mall walk. My wife picked up a sleep sack. You know what those are for the kids? Yeah. So we're going to go down to Carter's to pick it up. And as we're walking down the mall, kind of getting like a tickle in my throat. Like
flu season?
That's what I thought. Like, this is weird that it would just happen now. Like, that's the second it happened. Donovan, I start hearing him cough. I start hearing other people cough. Like, what's going on? So
flu season?
We take the escalator up and we're walking towards Carter's. And a small security's like, stop. You can't go past this line. Someone sprayed bear spray in the mall. And all of a sudden it clicked. Donovan and I looked at each other like, oh, that's why we're coughing and sneezing and rubbing our eyes. Who the heck sprays bear spray in West Edmonton Mall?
You don't think there's a real bear loose in the mall, do you?
I couldn't imagine it. It had to be something else.
Human on human violence sounds to me.
There's little kids in the mall. It's not cool. Have you ever felt the impact of bear spray?
I was working at the bar one night. Left turned right. It was different times. Nobody had camera phones. Somebody bear sprayed somebody in the bar. We were full.
Yeah.
We didn't know what to do. So we just told everybody to deny. So other customers are like, oh, something's awful. We're like, I don't know. Maybe it's seasonal allergies. And everybody left very quickly.
I would. Yeah. It's for real. Like,
It's
if
no
you got
joke.
really sprayed by that, you'd be incapacitated.
If you took a bear spray or a macing like directly, like you were the person being aimed at, you're out. Like you're incapacitated.
Do you remember the Really Tough Contest here in town?
Yes.
I was working for said company at the time.
Okay.
And one of the challenges at the time was be sprayed by pepper spray. And they asked like a young 19-year-old Connor, do you want to spray the guy in the face? I didn't want to. I'm like, what if I miss? Like, then this whole promotion is ruined.
What do you mean, what if you miss?
Well, like I've never shot it before. I
Sure.
didn't know what to do. So another guy stepped up and did it, but I watched it and like had to get pictures. So I was right there and this guy just got blasted in the face by pepper spray.
There's moments in my life where I'm comparing then and now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, things have changed. Like, what was that? The big radio station in town used to let you pepper spray people on the air and take pictures?
Yeah.
Try that in 2026.
One guy I remember from that contest, we put him in a bathtub on White Ave and he had to sit in with leeches for like 2 hours.
This is when Fear Factor was on TV. It was just
Absolutely.
ruining society.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was normal.
But great promotion. Like, I think there was the guy who Got the Stanley Cup tattoo on his back as well. And
really,
I think he actually is a Sports 1440 listener. So
he got his challenge was to get a cup tattoo.
Yeah, like on his whole back.
Like all the names are on it.
I don't think all the names, but essentially the outline and probably a few more lines there. So yeah,
have you guys got into resolutions? Have you been talking about this at all? How we're going to change the game in 26?
No, I asked Lorianne Munzer about it. She doesn't like them. I've always kind of been of the opinion, like, if you're talking about on the 27th of December, just start it then. But if it helps people and they can go through with it, I'm all for it. Why? Have you made a couple?
Well, let's be honest. Lorianne Munzer lives that Olympics mindset 24/7. If we were all as dialed in as she was, we wouldn't need New Year's.
She's not us.
No, us laymen, we need to set false goals once a year and then by 3 weeks later be sad with ourselves like a normal person who doesn't have what it takes to get to the Olympics. I don't know. I'm the 1440 listeners. Like, is this not a thing? I always try to do something. Why not?
What's yours?
I don't know yet this year. A lot of it for me is dad related.
Mm-hmm.
Like last year, it was like we need to read actual constructive things before bed, no shows. Whereas like prior to that, you're just trying to like corral them into a bed, right? Like keep them lying down.
Yeah.
So we're getting a little bit more intellectual.
New books.
Rap ABC.
Mm-hmm.
He's had it for years. He can do the whole alphabet. That's unbelievable education. He could stop right there. He's ready for the work world.
We try to sing that to Benny before bed.
Rap ABCs?
Just ABCs.
Oh.
But now he giggles when I sing it. Maybe it's my voice. I don't know what it is, but...
Do you have a lovely singing voice? I imagine you would.
I mean, it's okay. For Ben's ears only.
Sure.
Of course.
Sure.
And maybe a select few that might hear me do it. But
hit us up. If you're actually making a resolution this year, if you're among the 99% of us civilians who set goals they can't achieve, let us know what your resolutions are for 2026.
Well, Will says bear spray is basically Northside cologne. And I feel like the north side is leaking into other sides of the city, so maybe that's just going to be part of it. And Paulson says, hey, I heard that Fear Factor's making a comeback.
What?
Is Johnny Knoxville hosting? Or am I just making things up?
He is, actually. You're right.
So
I heard they're
is?
rebooting Jackass.
Oh, really?
Which sounds like a terrible idea.
That was a show I could never watch.
Fear Factor.
I liked some of the events in that show, Jackass, but I couldn't do all of them. The vomiting stuff was like the worst for me. I can't watch that.
No.
Tough enough as a new parent, but whatever. World Juniors, you tuning into that?
I'm saving up my Olympic spirit for the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like the international hockey. Normally I love the World Juniors. Haven't quite linked into it this year, but I'm pumped for the Olympics.
Did you
short weeks away?
Were you surprised Zach Hyman didn't make it?
It's so hard to say, right? Like, I'm amazed that they have to put as much work into the lineup as they do. You'd think you could sort of make it like an NHL 26 lineup and it just automatically generates. They must be looking for who's hot. I honestly, he catches a lot of grief, but I'm amazed that Evan Bouchard isn't on the team. His offense, the numbers speak for themselves. Pair him with an amazing defensive defenseman. You got yourself a pairing, I think.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, I'm sure he was in the discussion. How could he not be for what he's done in the last few playoffs? He's played really good, eliminates some of those mistakes. But I think at times also his reputation precedes him, where a lot of people are like, he can be a liability in his own end. And in a 6-game tournament, maybe that was part of the factor. The also, big thing is there's a lot of good Canadian defensemen.
But I would think, and again, this is just me, that there's enough defensive defensemen on the team that they could sort of counteract and let him fly his offensive flag. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't have, if he was in as like the 7th or 8th defenseman, I suppose, but you just go through it. Obviously, you're going to have Makar and Taves playing together.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Harley, when he's at his best, provides some offense. I just don't know if they thought they needed him. I mean, and also you just won gold with this grouping, like no changes on the blue line. So maybe Drew Doughty, some people thought would have aged out, but obviously not. And I still think, I don't know how heavily he'll be counted on, but I think he's going to have his moment where we're like, that's why you bring Drew Doughty. Like he's going to step up at some game and we'll say, okay, that's why they brought him.
Leadership for sure. I think also when it comes to Zach Hyman, like the Oilers, we've seen what the team is like with him, without him. And there's an argument to be made. They didn't win the cup because Hyman was out.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And then we see what the Oilers lineup is like without Zach Hyman. And then he returns and we see things pick up again, right? So those were two fairly glaring omissions, but that's part of the fun of the Olympics, right?
And I mean, Connor Bedard is another one. Scheifele, Schaefer. I would hear arguments for all those guys. This isn't Team France, though, right? Like, it's a tough team to crack. So
Team Canada could ice two teams.
100%.
100%.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, outside of maybe like the powerhouses, I think they'd compete.
Yep.
But well, the goaltending question would be interesting.
My first thought when I saw that Connor Bedard didn't make the Olympic team was, is this going to impact that motorcycle store that him and Connor McDavid have in that bank had?
Maybe.
Because now they're not Olympic teammates.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Was Connor going to stick with other Connor through the ups and downs in the motorcycle business store game?
Maybe they have some fun with it.
Maybe
like they win gold and here's a little joke.
I don't think it's that big of a slight for Connor Bedard to not be included.
No.
I think Schaefer is more of a shock to me.
I didn't like the discussion about how like the injury didn't impact it because he was 5th in the league in points when he went down. Like, how does the injury not impact it? If you would say, tough decision, the injury did not help his case, I'd say, okay, yeah, like I can hear that. But to say that didn't have any impact on it, I think I don't know how truthful it is. Like, why would you not want a guy who's improving? He has some liabilities in his game or some issues to clean up for sure, but I think he's improving. And I mean, you need points. You got to score goals to win. So I don't know. It's a good team. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait for it to get going. The 12th of February.
What do you think about Ekholm not making the team?
Not surprising. I mean, if you just go back and look at his play recently, and injuries played a role. Stanley Cup final, didn't think it was great. I didn't necessarily think they should have signed him when they did either for the Oilers. Like, definitely you want to extend him, but I was thinking there was no rush to wait and see what happens. And I just think that, the tape you've seen on him as of late just probably didn't put him in that category that he was in a year ago. So, and for Oilers fans, we've seen it a lot to the text line. It's just that, hey, that's good. Give him 2 weeks to rest, get ready for a cup run. And, the Oilers are only going to be sending over McDavid and Draisaitl. So everyone else gets to just recoup.
What's your excitement level for these Olympic Team Canada games? What's equivalent? Is it like a conference final, cup final game level of excitement? Is it?
I think so. I mean, once every 4 years, and we haven't seen it for a long time. So I'm really excited. Like I told people I wasn't that fired up for Four Nation Faceoff, or so I thought. And then once it happened, I was like, I'm all in on these games. I'm intrigued. I will not say like, hey, American hockey fans, Canada won the Four Nation Faceoff. Suck it. Nothing like that. It's like, this is what matters. This is a step up from that. So I was excited about the Four Nation Faceoff. I got to be really excited about the Olympics.
I'm way more like Four Nations, sure, wonderful. This is the Olympics, though, and I'm excited for Connor to be able to go and participate and see the athletes' village.
Yeah.
Right. I'm excited he gets to go play with Crosby. That's an interesting thing we've all been speculating on for heavens knows his entire career.
And the question is, who does he have on his line?
Draisaitl.
Draisaitl, temporary Canadian?
Yep.
We were joking. What if he pulled the Joel Embiid and then just changed his passport? Represents Canada at the Olympics.
Did Joel Embiid do that?
Yeah. Yeah. He went from, I believe, Cameroon to the United States, and I think now he wants to go to France. Yeah.
Don't some of our sprinters play that kind of?
No. I don't know. Maybe the ones that train down south change. I know there was the bobsleigh, I think. She made the switch from Canada to US. She had the shaved side head. I forget her name, but yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Leon's pretty proud to represent his homeland.
I think Canada USA is going to be unreal.
It's going to be so good. Whenever they meet, whenever it does happen.
Although
if it happens. Oh,
you don't think?
I mean, it's possible. Belarus beats Sweden, crazy things happen.
What has to happen for them to face each other?
We were trying to figure it out. So they won't play in the opening round. They're in different groups. I would think it would be, assuming they're both at the top of their groups, it would be in line for a final. But with the three groups, it's a little confusing. We tried to dissect it on Fantasy Frenzy live on air. I don't think we did a very good job. We'll take a quick break, though. When we come back, we'll be joined by Craig Button from the NHL on TSN. Talk some World Juniors, some Olympics, some NHL, and more. Maybe even the draft as well. It's the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
I skipped breakfast this morning. Stay out of my way.
Don't threaten me with your bad choices.
No worries. A booster bar from Booster Juice will fix me.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because they're new. Snack-sized bars packed with seeds, pecans, gluten-free oats, all sorts of good stuff.
That sounds lovely, actually.
2 different flavors to try, too. Coconut pecan booster bars and harvest booster bars. Want to skip breakfast with me?
I take it back. You make good choices.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if you need it immediately with no overtime rates, if you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780-all-7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Did you know The Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
After 20 years, Canada's most prestigious international hockey tournament returns. The Camrose Viking Cup, December 28th to January 4th at Encana Arena. Tickets at vikingcup.ca. Brought to you by Sports 1440.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vinny and Donnan have to offer. Visit vinnyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Connor Halley, Wanya Gretz, Declan Kruger, and Donovan Paulson with you here. Text lines 1-833-401-1440, and the show, as always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight's Lotto Max an estimated $46 million. Get your ticket now at PlayAlberta.ca. We got some text from iMac, Josh, Rage, Texter B. We'll get to those shortly, but first we're going to go around the NHL. Brought to you by McDonald's. Have you tried the McVeggie yet? Wanya, have you tried it?
No.
It's more than a sandwich. It's an iconic flavor moment. The McVeggie and Spicy McVeggie. It's a new era for veggie lovers, only at McDonald's. You're a beef guy, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you should try
I'd give
McVeggie.
it a go. Everything that makes a McDonald's menu is usually delicious. It's a very rigorous testing process. You can't really go wrong with anything, even if you're a little bit off your usual order.
In 2026, I'd love them to bring back the McPizza. That's the dream. We bring in Craig Button, former NHL GM and TSN analyst and scout. Craig, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
I am very good. Happy New Year to you both. Like to Wanye's point, McDonald's does a rigorous testing process on the foods they introduce. So, you go to, I think a McDonald's is going for a burger, but hey, if you can make a vegan burger, a veggie burger, hey, that's good. You know that they spent a lot of time making it tasty.
Amen. I'd try their veggie burger long before somebody else's.
Yeah, I agree with you, Wanye.
Craig, what is the go-to McDonald's order?
For me, okay, so double cheeseburger, small fries, in the summertime, chocolate milkshake.
Oh, good call.
Elite.
Good call right there. Well, let's talk a little bit about the World Juniors.
I go with the double cheeseburger. I used to go with the quarter pounder with cheese. I've never been a Big Mac guy, but I certainly, it's a good meal. I love their fries.
Oh, the best. When you get them fresh off the tray there, can't beat them. Salty and everything, so good. I think there was just a goal. I think the Czechs just scored a goal behind you.
No, I'm in the warm-up. I'm in the warm-up of USA Finland.
Oh, okay.
So they come out on the ice and they announce the teams and they come out and they have the IIHF music, which I don't know who does the IIHF music, but they need to change the IIHF music. It's terrible. And it hasn't changed. And they're not up with the times. And it's like, seriously, like enough.
Best hits in 1999 sort of thing?
I think it might go back to 1947.
All the hits. Well, as I heard the announcement or the little bump in volume behind you, the Czechs evened up their game with Switzerland at 1 apiece. So
they did. So it's 1-1. Okay.
1-1. Yeah, absolutely.
So you thought that I was hearing it and you were watching it.
Yeah.
But I'm in the Grand Casino Arena where I think the big game today is Finland, USA.
No, it's going to be a lot of fun. Before we get to that, though, I do have to ask about Canada, and we are going to see a change in between the pipes for the Canadians. Do you think it's warranted?
100%. Listen, I love Carter George. Carter George last year led this tournament in save percentage and was outstanding. But he has been right at the bottom of goaltending during this tournament. Jack Ivankovic is not in any way, shape, or form going to be intimidated by the moment. He is not going to shrink with the bright lights. And this is the time to do it. It's not to see how Carter adjusts in this game. And I mean, really, quite frankly, I mean, Slovakia is a good, solid team, but Canada should prevail. But if you have some shaky moments and you're chasing a game, and now Dale has to go and make a goaltending change, well, now you're thrusting somebody in there. You get Jack ready. You get him ready to start the game. The team knows that he's ready. He was excellent in the game that he played, albeit, not severely like under duress. But at the same time, now to me, and they've established who their goaltender is going forward. Don't do it in moments of haste. Don't do it in moments where the guy you thought could do it isn't doing it. Do it now and put a stake in the ground. I think that's exactly what Dale has done.
Absolutely. And I mean, we know the expectation for Canada at all these events is gold. From what you've seen so far, is it realistic here? Do you expect them to go on a bit of a run?
Well, they're going to have to go on a run. Is it realistic? Absolutely, it's realistic. They have a lot of talent. They've shown that they can get their game in order and get it into a place where they're not harming themselves. I thought early in the tournament, even against Finland, they were doing things that harmed themselves. What they got to do is just get back to that really good disciplined play that will give them a chance to compete for the gold. in my view, going through this tournament, you start off, you look on paper, you watch the games, and you say, okay, Canada's a favorite, as they should be when you look at the talent. But right now, as we speak, at this moment in time, Sweden has established themselves as the best team in the tournament, like in terms of building their game. I think Czechia has been the second best team, and now Canada falls into third. Finland and the USA have had their moments of good, they've had their moments of bad, and they've had some moments of ugly. So it'll be interesting to see how this game shapes up in a quarterfinal. But Canada absolutely can find their way to a gold medal. But it's not like there's this really strong game in place. That's what Dale and the coaching staff are trying to get the players to do.
Craig Button from the NHL on TSN. Joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show, Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz with you. Craig, just looking around the tournament, when it comes to draft-eligible prospects, and I know it's kind of a small sample size, so it won't be the end-all, be-all, but who has elevated their draft stock so far?
Well, I mean, and you know, one of the things I like to qualify is the draft. I mean, you're looking at a period of time when you're evaluating player. You don't just do it in a one-off, but this tournament and the best on best U20, you know, it's a real good opportunity to evaluate and see how players hold their own. And there's going to be players that are better capable of doing it. It doesn't mean the ones that haven't maybe shined as much as you thought can't do it, but it serves as a real significant thing. I'm going to start with Chase Reed, the defenseman for the USA. I mean, he's been fantastic in Sault Ste. Marie. I think that he has shown at this tournament, and he's got a lot of untapped potential yet in his game. For me, he has been the best draft-eligible player at this tournament. The second best player at this tournament has been Viggo Bjork. Viggo Bjork was a very good player that really was kind of had notoriety. And you look and you watch, he's playing in the SHL, maybe not having the same success. And Gavin McKenna would be third, and Albert Schmitz, the defenseman for Latvia. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4. And I really think that Chase Reed has put himself at the top of them. And Viggo Bjork is not going to, in my view, be a top 10 pick, but he has shown that he is more than capable of being he reminds me a lot of Jordan Eberle at the same age, just to kind of give you a comparable type player. So when I look at it, Ivar Stenberg has not performed to the level that he has shown earlier in the season, and certainly to what you would expect, but still a real top player.
You perked Wanye there with the Eberle comparison, just so you know. Craig, if we turn our attention to the Olympics, a few days late for this question, but got to get your thoughts on the Olympic roster for Team Canada. Were there any notable omissions or players you didn't think would make the team that did?
No, because one of the things, and let me emphasize this, Connor and Wanye. Yeah, I don't think I mean, it's a hockey country we live in. People are passionate, they're knowledgeable, they know what's going on. And for me, I don't think it's very hard. Mike Johnson and I do Olympic rosters. I don't think it's very difficult if you're paying attention to pick 20 guys that will be on the team. I really don't. Now it comes down to that to the next 5, and I think that's where the debate is, and that's where you look at it and everything. Nobody that got named to the team surprised me. That includes Anthony Cirelli. So when you watch and see how he's played and how he's trusted by his coach, you understand that. But now we get to the okay, who do you think should have been on the team that didn't get named? And for me, it's really clear. It's Sam Bennett. I do, and it's one of the things I said the other day on our panel. Like, I understand why Jordan Binnington gets named to the team. I understand the loyalty card. I understand what he has done. And despite the fact that his game has not been anywhere near the level that he wants it to be or Canada needs it to be, you give him that pass. I don't understand how you can use that argument and not have Sam Bennett on your team. But Sam Bennett's had an excellent season. He's the reigning Conn Smythe Trophy winner, 2-time Stanley Cup champion. He was key last year in the Four Nations face-off. That, to me, is the biggest omission on this team. And I do believe, I mean, Darren Drager was talking the other day. He said, well, they know they made a mistake in not naming Tom Wilson to the Four Nations face-off team. and they made sure they got that corrected here. They made a mistake in not having Sam Bennett. Does that mean they can't win? No. Sam Bennett belongs on this team.
I'm with you. That's a guy to me that when the moment's big, he rises. And to not bring him out there, a guy who's never easy to play against, especially on the big stage, big omission there. Craig Button from the NHL on TSN joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Wanya Gretz here with you. Looking around the other teams, obviously some pretty good groups. The American team going to be highly skilled, the Finns and Sweden. I just want to go back to Canada here because it was a debate we had earlier on the station. If you look at, line matchups or comparisons, who's going to be playing with who, probably McKinnon, Crosby, and then kind of fill in the blank. Who would you like to see play with Connor McDavid?
Well, and Connor McDavid's a linchpin for Team Canada. Let's be very clear about that. So, you think about his abilities. I said it the other day. I mean, when Mike Johnson and I, you can put Sam Reinhart in there. You can put Braden Point in there. I'm not opposed to putting Tom Wilson in there because Tom Wilson does things that allow Connor McDavid to take full advantage. You watch in Edmonton what happens with Connor when he's with Zach Hyman. Zach Hyman gets in on the forecheck. He grinds. He wins pucks. He's tenacious. He's good in and around the net. And I think Tom Wilson has a similar type game. He's bigger than Zach, but the same type of approach. But there's so many things that make Connor McDavid great. But one of the things that he's so good at is that he reads off of people. So now and you see it with Zach Hyman, when you have somebody like that can push players back, create space, create opportunity, how many times do you see Connor just get into that area, grab the puck? How many times do you see space open up because of those players? I think Celebrini would be a great fit for him on the left wing. But with Crosby playing up as a winger with McKinnon, I'm not so sure that Macklin Celebrini shouldn't be playing center behind McDavid and McKinnon because he's that good. Now, I understand playing on the left wing. So I would love to see Reinhart perhaps being in that spot. Celebrini, I think, could hold it. But I would not close the door on Tom Wilson jumping into that spot and playing with him. I would even go Reinhart on the left wing, McDavid, and Tommy Wilson on the right.
I'm getting excited, just these potential line pairings that we could have. And yeah, I mean, Macklin Celebrini, Craig, I just feel like there's a lot of people that just don't get a chance to watch too much San Jose Sharks hockey. The Pacific Coast time, it doesn't help them. And I think there's going to be a lot of eyes open when they see how good this guy is.
Well, when the team was named and the top three scorers in the National Hockey League were Connor McDavid and McKinnon and Macklin Celebrini. Macklin Celebrini is a lowercase Sidney Crosby. And Crosby should have been named to the team in 2006. He wasn't. But you look back at a mistake, and certainly the Canada didn't medal there, and you can look back at it as a mistake. And Macklin Celebrini has that game. He's got a year under his belt. He's complete. He's thorough. He's smart. He's competitive. And so to me, like you said, if you stay up and you watch games in the Pacific time zone, you're going to understand what a good player Macklin Celebrini is. The reason the San Jose Sharks are where they're at in the standings is largely due in part to Macklin Celebrini.
Yeah. Oh, Craig, it's going to be fantastic. Appreciate this. Enjoy the games today and the rest of the World Juniors, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, we will. Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Wanya.
There you go. That is Craig Button from the NHL on TSN. Wanya, I cut you off there. My apologies.
Oh, no, that's fine. I was just excited to remember Jordan Eberle's greatness in these international situations.
Yeah. It was, the goal to tie it up. Was it against the Russians?
0.4 seconds left.
Yeah.
I remember being at Rexall Place watching an Oilers game, and everybody in the lower bowl, not everybody, but a bunch of people were standing up and watching the game in the luxury suites on those little TVs.
Mm-hmm.
And the people from the suites had pulled the TV out and tried to angle it so people could see.
Good looking out.
It was unbelievable.
We did get a text coming in here. It was from Rage Texter B. Boy, some of the greatest hockey minds have put this team together. Only in Edmonton is Bouchard regarded as one of the best. He's not that good. To counterpoint, the NHL Network has done their defenseman rankings the last 2 years. Last year, they had Bouchard number 9. This year, 10. So I would say that he might not be Cale Makar, but he's a damn good defenseman in the NHL. And I think he gets too much hate. He's a polarizing figure. He has lulls in his game. We've seen it. I mean, I've told the story. Donovan and I were doing a post-game show when the Oilers were winning. I'm like, this is going to be a slow post-game show. But Bouchard probably cost them 3 straight goals and they lost. It's in his game, but he is very good. He was deserving to be in the conversation. I'm okay with him not being on the team. I wasn't banging the drum that he had to be there, but he was in the conversation.
Doesn't he have like 98 points or something in the calendar year of 2025 or some crazy number?
That I don't know.
Oilers Nation posted it.
Morgan Geekie had 50 goals in the calendar year, and he didn't even get a sniff in the Olympic squad. But Morgan Geekie didn't go to 2 straight Stanley Cup finals and play very good hockey.
Well, this is it. And we need offense at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Evan Bouchard, even his staunchest detractors, will be forced to admit he can get a lot of points.
Guys, yeah, I mean, hey, he can play with elite talent. But I will admit, there's times where, he leaves you scratching your head like, what are you doing? It does happen sometimes. And a lot of the times it seems to end up in the back of the net. Switzerland just made it 2-1 at the World Juniors. That timing was crazy. It was like perfect timing for a TV delay tune. Cheer from the crowd and then a goal. But Craig Button can't just change locations like that. Wanya, have you been watching any of these World Juniors? They just pet in the crowd here. And I get it's a Czechia-Switzerland game. Bad attendance.
I think if you're going to try to get attendance for a game like this, it has to be in Canada.
Yeah. People will just show up.
I don't think it's coming anywhere else.
I talked to Brandon Douglas, and he was just like, when it was here in 2013, he's just like, I just went and watched the 2 random teams. Just go watch some good hockey, which is easy to do. Okay, we got to take a quick break. We're running pretty late here. When we come back, if it's here, we'll do Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. If not, maybe the Oil Report. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Mr. Rooter goes skiing.
Sick gear, Mr. Rooter. Are you ready to hit the slopes?
Not yet. I need to report a possible crime.
Oh no, what's happening?
I saw a bunch of hooligans discussing shredding the half pipe. As a plumber, I've taken the Hippocratic Oath to do no harm and act in the best interests of all pipes, whether PVC, copper, or otherwise.
It's made of snow, Mr. Rooter.
Snow? Things are worse than I had feared.
There's no better plumber than Mr. Rooter.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and sadly some people think orthotics are just glorified shoe cushions. But I've seen a runner drop 8 minutes off her marathon, a grandmother ditch her painkillers, and a 12-year-old nail her long jump, all thanks to custom foot orthotics. So if your feet are screaming for help, flat, high, or funky, that pain's heading to your knees, hips, even your lower back, our professionals will assess you and, if indicated, custom fabricate a pair of orthotics made just for you. Happy feet make a happy person. Feet shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Everyone's a winner during Wish and Win at Wolf GMC Buick. But hurry, it ends January 2nd. Every single customer is guaranteed at least a $500 bonus with a chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new GMC or Buick. At Wolf GMC Buick, we also have 0% financing up to 84 months on most of our popular SUVs and trucks. And we're clearing out remaining 25s, including cash discounts up to $10,000 on a great selection of Sierra HDs. But hurry in now, it ends January 2nd. Wolf GMC Buick, where everyone wins.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as The referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get 3 large specialty pizzas for only $54.99. Perfect for game night. Use promo code 3LG at papajohns.ca or the Papa John's app.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Go give us a little subscription. Subscribe. Sports 1440 AM on YouTube. Connor Halley, Wanya Gretz, Declan Kruger, and Donovan Paulson with you here. The show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. 46 million estimated Lotto Max tonight. That's a lot of cash. Gregor always says it. If you win, you got to throw a party, and you have to invite us. That's the rules. And if we win, we'll do the same. PlayAlberta.ca. Remember to use your game sense. Wanya, why don't we dive into the oil report brought to you by Go Auto? Go Auto has donated more than $24.1 million to local charities. They take pride in supporting the community where they live and do business. GoAuto.ca. We saw the news today, Quinn Hudson and the Iceman, Ike Howard, or Isaac, depending on who you are, returning to the Edmonton Oilers. Max Jones was sent back down. Both guys, we've seen in the NHL this year. We've seen the glimpses, seen the shots, the release, the goals. Quinn Hudson down with the Condors has been fantastic. 32 points in 26 games. Had a bit of a slow start, but obviously picked it up. And then the Iceman, 23 points in just 16 games. You look at these guys, they're both under 6 feet. They're not over 180. So they're not the biggest of dudes, but they can score. And the Edmonton Oilers, they need to fill those pieces in that top 6. I think with this, you got the potential to now move Ryan Nugent-Hopkins down to a third-line center, maybe just boost it up a little bit because we know they've had some underperforming veterans in, Mangiapane and Frederick. I mean, they've heard it. They've heard the noise. They've been in the press box. When you get put in a line with Leon Draisaitl, and Mangiapane skated with Draisaitl today at practice, that was because Podkolzin is sick. So we'll have to monitor that for tomorrow's game at 1:30. But, to play on a line for 3 shifts and then get yanked, you got to be doing something really wrong there. And I think, maybe coach, maybe it's management. Like, we got to do something. We got to shake things up here and get guys that'll do something. Be noticed, right?
We used to get all worked up on Oilers Twitter about the Mac blender. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Mac T was blending up the lines every 15 seconds. I now realize years later that's just standard operating procedure in the NHL. It had nothing to do with Craig McTavish. He was doing what all his peers do in the NHL. It's amazing to me how little time most lines stay together.
Yeah. I mean, you're just trying to find that thing. And then when it sticks, like, holy cow, put it together. Who was it? Was it Draisaitl, Yamamoto, and Nuge? Is that what it was? I don't know. I just remember there was that stretch where it was like, okay, you have something here. And then you just keep it together and build around it. And I think that's what the Oilers are trying to do here. Text rolling in here. David says, hey guys, calendar year for stats is even less useful than analytics. Sure, it's a statistic, but within the context of the current season, the only meaningful context, it is nothing but a distraction. It's equivalent to a participation ribbon for professionals.
What's that guy's name?
David.
David, we're trying to get the Olympic spirit. Okay? And all your points are valid, but conjecture and speculation and meaningless statistics is what we're here for.
Jets just made it 3-2. Sorry.
It's okay. It's happening live.
I don't know how it's a participation ribbon. If you have a good calendar year like Morgan Geeky, then you had a good year. Like, sure, you'd rather see it in maybe 182 game stretch and hope that it leads to more success. But if you've been good the last year, I think that is very relevant.
I'm not saying that Evan Bouchard is the greatest defenseman since Al McInnes.
Mm-hmm.
What I am saying is 90-some points in a calendar year. Yeah, it's got context of a long playoff run. That's the point.
And I think, for Bouchard, you could say, okay, how about we just compare the last 2 playoff runs or 3, right? Like you've seen him elevated. I don't like, it's not the end all be all, David. I would agree, but I think there is some relevance to it. Josh had said Bouchard and Hudson for the U.S. were honestly surprising for me as the 2 guys that didn't get taken. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. And there's just so many good hockey players for Canada and the United States. Like, I think there's drop-off is there. And more so for the United States. Mike Rupp even said it. Like, he's like, it's not like Canada, where there's so many good guys you can make a second team. Like Rupp said, like 3 or 4 guys. And then there is that drop-off. Hudson, man, he'd be fun to watch out there with a lot of talent. IMAC says, hey, guys, Happy New Year's. Happy News to you, IMAC. The spray was in phase 1. I was there earlier, parked near Toyota, wondering why I heard people coughing coming towards me from that wing and realized I would turn at the North Pole. What it was. Yeah, that's where we were. We were just by like the little Santa area, going to take the escalator, took it up, and that's where we were denied. So now I got to make my way down there some other point. But yeah, bear spray in West Edmonton Mall earlier today. Oh, great. Team Dean says, I don't know about Bennett. This isn't going to be the NHL refs turning a blind eye to all his bull crap. From Team Dean. Well, you'd have to get him to hold back a little bit. I mean, you could maybe say the same about Tom Wilson, though. Like, he likes to play on the line. I would have had no issue if Sam Bennett had made the team. And he would have made my team because I think he does kind of elevate his game. We've seen it before. He's a guy who wins. Winners win, and he's done that.
I'm looking at the American lineup here. There's so many ops. Canada US would be so great, Connor. If you could arrange it. I know you have Paul with the IHF.
It's all inside. I mean, their goaltending. You know what you say about their goaltending? Great in the regular season.
But like Jack Eichel, both Kachucks, like there's a lot to hate here. Austin Matthews, imagine he lights it up at the Olympics and goes back to Toronto stone cold again.
JT Miller.
Jack Hughes.
The Hughes boys. Guys. You got some really good talent there. It's a really good team. Oh yeah. Kachucks. Yeah, they're pretty good too. Yeah, it's gonna be a great event. Like it to me, I think that when you look at it, it's gonna be Canada and US probably rolling through their groups. But I don't know, they don't really usually do the group of death in men's Olympic hockey. But it'll probably be the group that has Sweden and Finland. That'll be a little bit of a tougher one. That's also got Slovakia and Italy, so maybe tough for Italy. But Canadians going up against the Czechs, the Swiss, and the French. And then Group C is United States, Germany, Latvia, Denmark. So Leon Draisaitl will get a chance to maybe take down the U.S. Do the Canadians a favor. That's must watch, right?
If Leon Draisaitl scores against Canada, does part of your brain cheer?
Yeah, I mean, good for him. Not you?
No, I'm a patriot.
Yes, you are. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'd say good for him. Good job. If it's like 8-1 Canada, doesn't matter.
Oh, it's 8-1 Canada in that scenario? Oh, then good job.
My thoughts are they probably won't even meet, to be honest with you.
No.
I think it'll be United States and Latvia getting through, but you never know. You never know. Who else is on Team Germany? Stützle? Anyone else, Donovan? Oh, yeah. Sider. Okay. A few good players. Is it enough?
Connor is on such an otherworldly trajectory right now. He's probably going to win the luge as well as the Olympic hockey golds.
Throw him out there in speed skating.
Just throw him out there.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun. And one of those times where we can all just kind of hunker down together and support one team. And then argue with Americans on social media rather than with each other. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we should get to Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. I get the pleasure of reading this one. But first, we'll get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Loca. Dinner just got a whole lot easier and tastier. Head to meals.loca.ca, select the number of chef-crafted meals you'd like to eat, and get them delivered to your door every Sunday for as low as $10 per serving. Just eat, repeat. Meals.loca.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oilers have recalled Ike Howard and Quinn Hudson from the Condors. They will play the Philadelphia Flyers tomorrow at 1:30. World Junior Hockey Championship, Sweden over Latvia 6-3 earlier. Czechia up on Switzerland 3-2 right now with about 7 minutes to go in the second period. At 4, we're going to see Finland and the United States. That gets going in just a couple minutes. And at 6:30, Slovakia and Canada. In the NHL, one final from earlier was the Blues over the Golden Knights. Winter Classic, we'll see the Rangers and Panthers at 6, then 2 games at 8:30, Kraken and Canucks and Wild and Ducks. In the NBA, action gets going at 5 o'clock, Spurs and Pacers and Nets and Wizards. The late game, we'll see the Grizzlies in LA to take on the Lakers. College football final from earlier was Texas State 41 over Rice, who had 10 in the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. Navy currently leading Cincinnati 14-7 in the Liberty Bowl. AJ action tonight. We will see Grand Prairie and Bonnyville and Olds in Canmore. In the BCHL, Spruce Grove Saints playing host to the Prince George Spruce Kings. Golden Bears hockey tomorrow as the University of Alberta takes on the Calgary Dinos down at the Drake. A 7 p.m. puck drop for that one. And I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440. Stingray Radio Station. CKJR. Broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Oodle Noodle Origins.
In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the new world. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as
Oodle Noodle.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
It's like a locker room, minus the smell.
Ew.
Kevin Carius brings the banter, the buzz, and the bold sports talk. Weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Sports 1440, Edmonton's home for sports.
Think your credit's not good enough for a new ride? Think again. Go Auto's car loan calculator is here to help. No commitments, no credit hits, just real answers. You tell us a few things, and we'll show you what you can afford. Text credit to 780-777-7777. That's credit to 780 all sevens. Go Auto. We do the math, so you can do the driving.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey, Culligan. I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
I'm getting McDonald's. You want anything?
Oh, yeah. I'll get I'm obviously going to get the McVeggie, medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99. It's my favorite meal and it's new. Plus, if I get that, maybe he'll want it too. And then he'll always thank me for introducing him to the McVeggie. I'll be a hero.
So, McVeggie, fries, and drink?
How'd you know?
You were thinking out loud again. Get yourself a McVeggie meal for just $9.99 plus tax for a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden. Rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Floor, welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Connor Halley, Wanya Gretz, Declan Kruger, and Donovan Paulson with you here from the Sports 1440 studios in West Edmonton Mall, which is a zoo. Wanya, I don't know how your journey in was today. The last little while, parking has been a mess. The parking lot has just been like mush. So I'm like rocking back and forth to get out of my parking spot, building up momentum. We had freezing rain, but through it all, we've made it. How was it for you today?
I'm glad you brought it up because some old lady stole my spot. I was waiting. She came on the other side.
Were you signaling?
Patiently.
Yeah.
And she drove right in. You know what I said? So what would the Iceman do? He'd show forgiveness. Yeah. And then he would get a hat trick. So I said, that's okay, old lady. You have that spot. And then I found an even closer one.
The way it works out. Positivity breeds positivity.
It is bumping it here today.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people spending their gift cards, I think.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's my guess. The show's brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight, the Lotto Max, $46 million estimated. Get your ticket, PlayAlberta.ca. Also, you can check out the Jason Gregor Show boosted odd picks and use promo code Gregor50 with your $50 deposit and get a $50 free play. Use your game sense. Lance says, Wanye, you watching Heated Rivalry?
Well, I'll tell you this. I've never seen people on Twitter talk about a hockey content of any type like Heated Rivalry. I don't know what platform to watch it on, though. What's it on?
Crave.
Crave. How do I get Crave? Do I need a smart toaster? What is it?
You just buy it.
You buy it
yeah.
through your cable provider.
Or like just through Crave too, yeah.
What do you mean? Like an app?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My sister, I gave her my password so she could watch it. She said it's very bingeable.
Really?
So people like it.
I know some gals who are all aflutter about this. They say, is this what being a hockey fan is like, Wanya? I said, no, this is something new.
I mean, I said, like, I'm usually behind on TV shows. So once I get to season 3, maybe I'll get into it.
I was trying to solve it like it was an actual player that they were like making reference to, but I don't think it is. I think it's like a composite.
From a book or something.
Well, the thing is, like, the book came out right after Ovi and Crosby's draft years. And obviously in the show, one is Russian, one is Canadian. Now, the author has since come out and said that, like, no, this is not a fanfic of Crosby and Ovi, but she did like the Canadian-Russian kind of aspect and narrative and connection.
We need to do a similar type series on the double honeymoon of Connor and Leon. That is worthy of 15 episodes on Crave too. Don't you think?
What an arc it would have.
Well, you got everything. Luxury yachts.
Yeah.
Fancy Italian weddings.
They should have done a reality show is what they should have done.
Do it after the fact. Let the actors scrub it up a bit, you know?
All right.
I'd watch that. Would you watch a show about that?
Again, probably season 2 or season 3.
It'd be unbelievable.
I'd get into it. You know what is unbelievable? Camp Tate's 2-minute warning. We're going to get to that. I get to read it today. Brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with no payments, no interest for 1 year. Stay warm all winter with a new furnace from legacyheating.ca. As we do every day here on the Jason Gregor Show, we hear Camp Tate's 2-minute warning. But on Fridays, Tater just sends the words and Gregor reads them. With him not here, I get to do so. So, Declan, let's play some music and we'll dive in. It hasn't snowed in Miami, they say, from 1977. But tonight, the outdoor game tonight at 3:15 Edmonton time, it was a plus 19 degrees Celsius. Tonight in Miami, a cold minus 10. Minus 21 with a wind chill of minus 29 in Minneapolis. So cold they had to heat the ice, warm the water pipes, keep it from cracking. That was New Year's Day, 2022. They surpassed the Heritage Classic coldest game held right here in Edmonton in 2003 at Commonwealth Stadium. And since there are some interesting facts, 105,491 fans, Michigan Stadium, 2014 Classic, Leafs and Wings, still the record. Coldest, Minneapolis, 2022. Blues Wild, warmest, 65 degrees in Denver, 2016. Tyler Toffoli and David Pastrnak, 4 outdoor goals each, career leaders. James Van Riemsdyk, 8 outdoor games, most ever, 3 different teams. Nico Dawes, 48 saves, New Jersey, 2024. Single game record. And just this week, history in Miami. First ever Panthers outdoor game, retractable roof at Lone Depot Park. But there's something special, isn't there? Minus 15, stars bright, so bright they hurt. Crunch of boots on fresh snow, steam rising from 100 mouths. The crack of the puck echoes the boards across the ice. Kids in snowsuits, grandpas in parkas, everyone cheeks the same shade of red. Then halftime hits. You pile into that warming shack. Packed shoulder to shoulder, smells like wet wool and burnt coffee. Someone's got hot chocolate. Steam fogs the windows. Hands wrapped around paper cups. Feeling comes back to your toes. Laughter, stories, you know half these people. The other half, you'll play by the third period. The buzzer sounds. Back outside. Back to the magic. So we asked this question early today on Twitter, and we had a record 544 votes. Will you be watching the outdoor game tonight? The numbers are staggering. 95% said yes. Or sorry. Oh, typo. 5% said yes. 94%, 0.9, said no. As soon as they get rid of the cold, I'm grabbing my warmest coat, boots, gloves, and hat and finding me at an outdoor hockey game. And one more thing, starting Monday, we're asking you to help us do something very special for the 2-minute warning in Sports 1440. Well, I'm very intrigued to see what that is. What will it be starting on Monday? The 2-minute warning. I will say this one, yeah. I love that they do the Heritage Classic, these outdoor games. Like it is very cool. It's cool that they're trying things at, different locations. I mean, finally getting Florida involved, but it's just like, it's not going to be very good tonight, in my opinion. Like the sight lines, you're going to be so far from it. It'll be a cool event to go to and wear shorts and have a couple beers and watch hockey. But I think we got to pick and choose our locations just a little bit better. And, maybe you get the Florida Panthers involved. It doesn't have to be the Red Wings and the Blackhawks and the Blues and the Bruins all the time. Maybe let them be a road team and let them go to somewhere where it's, I don't know, a little bit better for this. And there should be one in Canada every year.
I think that if we're going to grow the game, which should be the goal for everybody, you got to do new things. Right. And that means going to foreign countries for games.
Mm-hmm.
That means, remember they did the outdoor game in Vegas when Gretzky played with LA a long time ago?
No.
On the Strip. They did an outdoor game. Look it up.
Like on the Bellagio?
I don't think the Bellagio was even around. This is like late 80s.
Okay.
So the ice was pooled and it was a hot game. When I saw that they were doing an outdoor game in Florida, I thought about that game in Vegas, but it grew the game. There will be people who will go to the game in Florida that would never go. They call it ice hockey. They would never want to be indoors. They'll go because it's an event. Americans love events. If we're going to get this game where it needs to be, we got to do a lot more wacky stuff.
Okay, so it was Caesar's Palace parking lot. You're right, 1991. I had never even heard of this. But don't you think winning 2 straight Stanley Cups, going to 3 straight finals, grows the game?
More. Everything. Do everything. Get Kai Cenat to sing the anthem.
Sure.
Get I Show Speed to play for the Ducks. Who the heck knows? Whatever we can do to grow the game.
Yeah. Hey, maybe I was being a hockey snob, a little pretentious.
Can't believe I dropped that Vegas game on you and you didn't know.
I had no idea this was a thing. Well, I'm dropping facts.
I'm strutting around the studio for the listeners.
I'm looking at pictures here of like them getting it ready. You got Caesar's Palace in the background.
That ice was not smooth, my friend.
Doesn't look like it.
I don't even think they refrigerated it. They just dumped it on the bunch of glasses or the ice out and smoothed it out.
It was like the Condors outdoor game a few years ago, and it was raining.
Remember when the Condor got loose at the Condors game?
Absolutely.
That's the best thing that happened to AHL hockey in the last 10 years in terms of virality.
Pops up on ESPN all the time.
You got to let the Condor loose.
Kenneth says, why do we want to grow the game?
So that Connor McDavid can one day make $73 million a year.
Kenneth's probably not watching on YouTube, but I'm doing the money sign.
We got to grow the game. The MLS just passed us. We can't have this nonsense.
I mean, at a certain point, it's like you can keep on trying, but if they're not going to take hold of it, then do you keep on trying?
But it takes. What are you talking about? Florida's got two teams. One just won.
It didn't take in Atlanta twice.
It might get another team.
They might get another chance.
I think
Arizona may get another chance.
The effort to grow the game in the late 90s in the States has largely worked.
Yeah.
Like spectacularly.
I mean, hey, Austin Matthews was born in Arizona.
The whole AHL
Right?
is in California.
Yeah. I don't mind it. I just think that, like, maybe just a little more. Does it have to be in Florida? They got enough. They got the beautiful weather. Come play in Lake Louise. Let them do it up there.
Remember a couple years ago when Jaleel White was at an Oilers game and couldn't explain why he was there?
Yeah.
These are the kind of moments we need to grow the game, Connor. Celebrities, wacky outdoor schemes.
Yeah, that was a weird night. Urkel was just randomly at the game.
And had no idea why he was there. This is a legacy franchise. He said, what?
Lance says, I'm okay with something like this. We put our nose up as Canadians about hockey in the South, but absolutely the league should be doing things like that. It's not even me putting my nose up as a Canadian. Like, it looks ridiculous. It's just, and then couldn't they find a better venue?
No,
probably not, because you need it to be cold enough. But they're going to open the roof.
Caesar Palace parking lot in Vegas and do it again?
Yeah, why
At least it has
not?
seats.
Go back to Lake Tahoe or whatever, where the Avalanche played outside.
Now,
go to Minnesota.
Imagine a game like
in the
Banff
Grand
Springs.
Canyon. Oh,
no attendance, just cameras. An ODR NHL game like that.
I think it'd be awesome.
Unreal.
Remember the Major League Baseball Field of Dreams game? It was unbelievable. I don't think there's too many people there. Maybe 1,000, if that.
But saying yes to stuff over a long period of time, that's how you grow the game. And it's important to grow the game, dear listener.
I would agree with you. I don't understand Kenneth's follow-up. Said, coming out of the fans' pockets, why do we pay more to watch? Elaborate, Kenneth, and we'll get back to that. Roddy texting in. One question, guys. Can you imagine if the 49ers win on Saturday, they're the number 1 seed? Also get home field advantage throughout the playoffs, including Super Bowl, because Santa Clara Levi Stadium is where it's going to be. I guess it's more than one question. But if they were to win the Super Bowl, how epic. For Niners fans, absolutely. Just if we're going to touch a little football, I will praise Kyle Shanahan and that San Francisco 49ers organization a lot. I think, like, talking to Donovan, I think he had them as like a team he thinks can go all the way. They fended off these injuries. They play in a tough division. They're battle tested. I think they are a very good team. Like, Brock Purdy is so impressive. Like, I called him a point guard once, and I feel like it kind of got like a bad rep. But like, he just distributes the football. He makes the right read. He gets it to the right guys. Buys time if he needs to. Runs it in. Hits the gritty. Or no, he's doing the Dougie now. I think he's doing.
What a showman! Grows the game.
A showman. He's entertaining, and he just gets the job done. And they've had so many injuries. It won't be easy. Like, the Seattle Seahawks are going to be tough. The Rams are good. The NFC South team, no. East, could the Eagles find their game? Maybe. North, well, there's no lines. You're probably going to get the Bears and Packers. So who knows? I don't know how close you're following the NFL this year, Wanya, but like, to me, it is so wide open. Like, you give me almost any team, and I could say, yeah, I could see them going on a run.
It's your classic power vacuum. The Chiefs fell out.
Yeah.
And now everybody's swarming to take over the top of the anthill.
So like the Ravens still could make the playoffs. You got, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. This might be their best chance. But there's been games where they've, haven't looked like the elite team that I think we could have thought they were in the past. So it's fantastic. We'll talk about that and more probably with Low Tide coming up next here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Wanya Gretz with you here. Get the text rolling in here. Wanya, you had asked people about potential New Year's resolutions. Not many coming in.
Really? Everyone's just giving up.
Declan, you got anything you're going to be working on this new year?
Ooh,
Nothing that I had thought of, even though Wanya asked the question a couple minutes ago.
I respect it. If everybody's good,
maybe a little more green veg. Who's not doing that for New Year's?
The program you're running over there, Declan, it's flawless.
That's the plan.
Gotta have the food prep. Gotta get ahead of that. That's my biggest failure with that. Sometimes I just get lazy. I get home tired. I don't want to make food.
I remember one year, I think I was like 21, and I was like, okay, time to turn my life around. I can't go out Sunday to Thursday. This was my New Year's resolution. And I think I lasted 2 weeks.
How often did you go out?
4 or 5 nights a week. And I remember telling all my friends, like, well, you won't see me in the new year. I'm not going out Sunday to Thursday. And like 2 weeks later, like, I thought you weren't going out. Like, it's tough.
Wednesday night at the ranch, all of a sudden, you got to be there.
Wow, this is it. Ezzy's.
Thursday at Cowboys.
Well, Thursday to Friday and Saturday, I wasn't going to be a shut-in.
Yeah.
But Sunday to Thursday, I had to buckle down and go to school, I told everybody. But I didn't.
I remember one night, it was a Wednesday. I didn't work the Thursday randomly, and my buddy said, you want to go to the ranch? It's cheap drinks. I had no idea. I'm like, people do this thing? People go out on Wednesdays? A lot of people were there. It was a crazy night.
There was 3 or 4 good places every night of the week.
Yeah. What was your favorite? Like
Cowboys.
Cowboys?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
When I got a Cowboys VIP card, I like almost started crying because I was going to save me so much time, and it was so much cultural swag in those days. I loved Cowboys. I thought I was at the Playboy Mansion. Like, it couldn't have been more exciting.
Because you're a West End kid, right?
Yep.
So, like, I don't know if it was the same for you, but I would go there and it'd be like, well, Pearl Elementary reunion.
Oh.
Parkview reunion. You just start seeing people you know. So, yeah, I agree. Cowboys was great.
I remember I used to work at a golf store, and I got in to Cowboys underage, statute of limitations. They can't get in trouble now. The building is now a Toyota dealership.
Yeah.
And I came back to school on Monday morning, and I was like, I've been to a bar, and like a gathering of people came around me in a semicircle. I'm like, it's like a school dance every night of the week. And there was like gasps from the crowd.
How old were you?
17.
Okay. So you were close.
Well,
I knew people that were like, we got to go to Cowboys. We just got to make an appearance. We've got to be seen there.
I can remember there'd be like 300 people in line, and you'd walk past them, and like the fury on people's faces as you got in and they didn't, that sticks with me to this day.
We were late for a birthday there once, and I went up and the bouncer said, hey man, going to be honest with you, you're not going to get in. It's too late. Not going to get in. So me and my friends went to Santana's one time only.
One time I went to Santana's, and I said to the bartender, it's awful tonight in Cowboys. And he looked at me and said, how many drinks have you had? You're in Santana's. I got to go.
Yeah. You thought you were at Cowboys.
One bar over. I'm like, oh my goodness, there's barely anyone here. Oh, you're in the wrong building.
It made sense. It's like weird couches in there and such. Quickly before I get to Lowtie, Jumpin' Jack Flash says, hello guys, NHL expansion. Please, some love. 3 possible teams. A second Toronto team. New York has 3, he says. Quebec City, as opposed to public support for Atlanta and Arizona. I mean, really. And 3, Hamilton. On ownership, 3 possible owners for Quebec. Oh, there's corporations and such. More teams in Canada needed and wanted and will be supported. From Jumpin' Jack Flash. How many teams is too many?
An 84-game season is pretty long.
But you also have to think another team that's going to be, does the talent get diluted a little bit?
You're drawing globally.
Yeah.
These kids today have physical trainers at the age of 6. They're doing plyometrics at 7. Like, I don't know. I think there's probably room. I would argue, if I was going to pick, if I was in charge finally, Connor, I would award Quebec City a team. It just means so much to the people of Quebec.
Yeah.
Right? And like the Montreal-Quebec City rivalry was so crazy back in the day.
Okay, you're going Quebec. Declan, you get one city for an NHL franchise. Where's it going?
Saskatoon.
Donnie P.
Good Sasky boy.
Where do you go? One city.
It has to be Quebec.
Quebec?
It's just the answer.
All right.
You got to see the Nordics back.
Answer.
To be different, I'll just say Houston.
Quebec.
So we got 2 Quebecs, 1 Saskatoon, and 1 Houston.
They built a sweet arena in Quebec City that's like NHL ready.
Hey, I'm with you. I'm down for it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's sign the paperwork today.
You immediately got their rivalry with Montreal built right there. There you go. Get it going.
Low key, not to belabor the conversation, but like a second Toronto team.
The MLSE, though, as like a company owned by REITs and like enormous institutional investors, you'd have a really hard time getting sign off, taking your trade area and dividing by 2.
And I think it would take time. Like,
I mean, like
you
New
need the
York's
new generation.
kind of done it. I don't want to say they've done it flawlessly, but they've made it work in every major sports league.
But this is like predating. Like these are like old
Yeah.
weird mergers. This that like
That's
MLSE
fair,
is a
for
$1
sure.
billion
Yeah,
corporation.
that's fair.
And what's the New York area like population versus Toronto's?
I think the Metropop of New York is like 8 million, and I think the Metropop of Toronto is like 6.
Okay, so I mean, and that's why I say I think it would take time. Like time would have to pass where you develop and build that fan base. In New York, they've been that way forever.
If I'm also awarding sports franchises, I would give a CFL team to Eastern Canada. I think they'd really get behind it.
Well, there's things they got to overcome before that happens.
Like what? Talk to me. I can sort it out.
Stadium.
Build it.
Well, then we're good.
If that's all it is, don't you think that the Maritimes would just like the culture of the Maritimes and going to the pub? It lends itself to a super team.
I'm in. I've only been to the Maritimes once. I went to Halifax. I absolutely loved it. I want to go back. So
I went to Newfoundland and PEI once, and I was like, am I in a different continent? I was blown away by the different quality of life, and you're still in Canada.
yeah, so cool. The Rig says, I thought someone would have said Calgary. Mighty Cobra said Calgary. So there you go.
Calgary should lose their team if we're taking them away.
People are saying they should get a team. Take a break here. When we come back, Low Tide. It's the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts, and play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocksyeg.com.
I skipped breakfast this morning. Stay out of my way.
Don't threaten me with your bad choices.
No worries. A booster bar from Booster Juice will fix me.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because they're new. Snack-sized bars packed with seeds, pecans, gluten-free oats, all sorts of good stuff.
That sounds lovely, actually.
2 different flavors to try, too. Coconut pecan booster bars and harvest booster bars. Want to skip breakfast with me?
I take it back. You make good choices.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder with over $3 million raised for local charities. And his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
The future of female hockey is here. It's season 2 of the Female Super League, the first ever female-only independent hockey division in Western Canada, with teams from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Featuring 16U, 14U, and 12U divisions, the FSL brings showcase weekends packed with thrilling games, and our 14U and 16U have been pioneering the advanced body checking rule, empowering young players. The Female Super League, where the best in female hockey takes center ice. Details at femalesuperleague.com.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vinny and Donnan have to offer. Visit vinnyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
Did you know the Brick is proudly Canadian owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you. Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantor. Made in Canada, made for Canada. Where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at Cantor.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.429, welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Wanya Gretz, Declan Kruger, and Donovan Paulson with you here. The show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight's Lotto Max, an estimated $46 million. Check it out, PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, use your game sense and stay within your limit. The text line is 1-833-401-1440. We're going to keep this conversation going, talking about the Edmonton Oilers, the Olympics, and it may be more with Alan Mitchell. You can hear him, of course, Monday through Friday here on Sports 1440 from noon until 2. LT, how you doing today?
I'm very good. The weather is a little bit, if you're driving home, be careful. If you're about to drive home, be careful. But weekends are weekends, so I'm pretty happy.
We saw some changes here in oil country. Ike Howard and Quinn Hudson recalled from Bakersfield. Both players having a lot of success at the AHL level. The Oilers may be looking for a bit of a spark offensively. What did you make of the news today with those two players being recalled?
It's terrific news. They're like, I think that sometimes we talk about guys performing in the AHL and it's like, well, you know, we needed to call them up or whatever. But Ike Howard is scoring at a level for a rookie player that is rarely seen in terms of Oilers prospects over the years. Miro Shatan would have exceeded it, but very rare to have the kind of impact offensively this young man is having. He has 23 points in 16 games, and 17 of those points are at even strength, and he has a 72% on-ice even strength goal percentage lead. Like 72 is just out of this world. You never see that. He's overqualified for the AHL, and the only concern I have is they have to play him. Like, you can't call him up and play 6 minutes. He's got to play. And I don't mind the fourth line as long as you play the fourth line 10 minutes a night. But we'll see. I mean, most coaches, and certainly Chris Knobloch has shown, they are risk-averse, and young players don't usually go together. So we'll see. It's a great opportunity for these guys, though.
So with that, Al, players must come out of the lineup. And there's been a couple guys. We've seen it with Mangiapane. We've seen it with Trent Frederick that struggles have kind of followed them around. And, you know, they've had their glimpses, to be fair. Mangiapane got a chance on the second line against the Bruins. It did not last long. So with those two players coming in, where do you think would be an ideal spot for them in the lineup? And with that, who comes out?
Well, I don't mind the fourth line if they were going to do something different than that. I would like, if Nuge moves down to third line center, I'd love to have the wingers run with him, and by that I mean Hudson and Ike Howard, and then Savoy would play farther up the lineup. Doesn't look like they're going to do that. Coming out, I mean, Lazar's out, Mangiapane's out. I don't think Janmark's coming out. I do wonder about Podkolzin and his health. He didn't skate today at the flu or whatever, and I think that part of this could have been anticipating maybe a need for a one-off kind of winger. They're going to have to make a move if they want these two guys to stay up for a while. They're going to have to make a move, and who knows, that might be a Mangiapane trade. But I think that if we're looking at tomorrow's game, there's a possibility that Podkolzin is out, and that'll free up a position or at least an opportunity for one of these kids.
Alan Mitchell joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show, Connor Halley and Wanye Gretz sitting in. So let's look at the Oilers goaltending right now. And obviously, didn't go great for them on New Year's Eve, but as a whole, the new guys have been pretty good when it comes to Tristan Jarry, who's going to be out till the middle of January, and Connor Ingram. I asked Gregor this in 5 questions coming off Calvin Pickard's really strong performance. Do you think there's a way that he can kind of just play well enough that he sticks around, or do you think eventually he's going to end up maybe down with the Condors?
I feel like, and here, this is my honest answer. I've been lying to you until now, but I think that the Oilers have enough questions about each goaltender that running at least for a time with 3 goalies makes sense. Pickard's struggled, and he's like 30, whatever he is, and maybe this is the end of the line. Maybe he'll play 5 more years. We don't know, but it looks like he's maybe a little bit off compared to his previous seasons. We know about Connor Ingram and the experience that he's had, on the ice and then off the ice as well. So there's a little bit of danger there, counting on him as the backup goaltender. And then Jarry, this is the second time he's missed some time this year due to injury. So I think there's enough questions about all 3 goalies that it might behoove the Oilers to keep all 3 of them, on the roster. We'll see. But certainly Pickard appears to be answering the challenge of, a threat to his job. He's played, I think, very well. And I think that he's popular enough on this team that if he plays that well, it'll be really hard to pry him off the roster.
I do like when you use those words like behoove, Al. Brings an elegance to the show. Let's turn our attention to the Olympic teams, and we'll get to Canada in a second. But Finland released their Sweden. Finland did as well. But no Mattias Ekholm for the Swedes. Does that come to a surprise for you at all?
A little bit. I think that it's wildly disappointing. I'm sure this is a player who's had to suffer through the return to arcane rules where the Olympics didn't involve NHL players. Now he gets his chance and isn't going to be there. That's tough. He certainly earned it. He's good enough to do it. Selfishly, if you're an Oilers fan, this is the best possible scenario. And let me explain that. He's going to get some rest. This is a guy who's in his later 30s, have a lot of miles on him. He's been banged up and injured for a long time. They play deep into June, doesn't get a full off season. Now, right in the middle of what is going to be a vital year for this Edmonton Oilers team, he gets a little bit of a rest. More than any other player on this roster, I think that time off will benefit him. And although it's an extreme disappointment, I'm sure, and I bet he'd love to get a phone call saying, somebody's hurt, can you join us? But from a selfish point of view, if you're an Oilers fan, this is the ideal scenario.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. Philip Broberg is going to be going. Now, let's talk about Team Canada and the Oilers captain, Connor McDavid. Who would you like to see his line mates be?
Zach Hyman. And you know what? I don't think it, honestly, one of the things that I would like to see, I'd like to see Crosby and McDavid play together. I don't know if that's going to happen. But I would like to see McDavid, I know it's a short series. I know that it's not going to be a long time, but I'd like to see them mix and match a little bit, because when he finds chemistry with a player, it's absolutely out of sight. And it's not, he can find chemistry with almost any player. So, aside from having him with Sid, which I would love to see, I'm kind of okay with whoever he goes with, although I think it'll be difficult for Oilers fans to have him on the ice with any Calgary Flame. But other than that, I think that the roster's so stacked, the mind boggles about whoever he's going to be playing with.
Yeah, we were talking to Craig Button about it, and he said, well, Imagine Tom Wilson. He's like aggressive Zach Hyman. And, that was brought up earlier on Fantasy Frenzy. And then some people say Macklin Celebrini. And Reinhardt. Like, there's just so many good options. Cannot wait for it. Now, the World Juniors tonight, Canada is in action taking on Slovakia in the quarterfinals, 6:30 for that one. Are you hunkering down maybe a nice glass of scotch for this one?
I don't have any drink open yet, but I probably will later. I'll definitely be watching. This is it's a tournament that I've been watching since I watched the Gretzky tournament. It was on TV. I didn't know anything about it, and I just turned it on, and it was Ron Roosh and CTV had the broadcast in like 78 or whatever it is. And I remember going, oh, Gretzky. And then less than a year later, he was like that November, he was playing for the Edmonton Oilers, which is weird, but that's the way the world is. But I'll watch. I always do. I always cheer for Canada and then Finland, who are my check down Saskatchewan option. And so I'll look and enjoy that. I'm very interested in the Swedes and the Americans. What I like about this tournament is you get an opportunity as we go through to get a kind of feel for a team. And I think the Canadians are still getting there, but I think that some of these other nations are so strong that you wonder if anybody's going to be able to beat them.
Now, LT, this weekend in the NFL, your Eagles take on the Commanders. It is a game you still have to try to play for because the Bears could lose to the Lions. Crazier things have happened. Then you jump up into that number 2 seed, and in theory, you get a weaker opponent, and we'll see how it all plays out. But what are your expectations for the Eagles this weekend? And do you think they can find their glory and go for another run here in the postseason?
Well, I think what I would like to see is I'm a Star Trek fan, so I'd like to see all the skill guys put in stasis until game 1 of the playoffs. I don't care if they win or lose tonight. Or this weekend. I don't care. I just want everybody healthy. I hate when you get to this part of the season and then like your quarterback goes out, or Barkley, who's had an up and down season. Something happens there. So I'd love to see them win, but the key is to go as deep as you can. I don't think they're a Super Bowl team, but I didn't think they were last year either, and they won it. So I'm cheering like hell for the Eagles because since like 1990, it's been like just despair for me, except for the Eagles who won 2 Super Bowls now. And I keep lighting a candle for your Chargers because you've earned it, Connor.
Stop it. You're jinxing them. You got a bad luck candle. Blow it out.
And it's funny because I do use the same candle. Maybe you're right. Pay me, Connor.
Yeah,
I will.
I'll buy you coffee or something. Just stop, blow out that candle. Throw it in the garbage. Maybe that's the problem, and it's not the Spanos curse. Al, have a fantastic weekend. I'm going to ask this question on behalf of Wanye Gretz. Do you have any New Year's resolutions this year?
Just to be happy. I've been happy this year, and there have been a couple of years that were really difficult, and this past year I was very happy, and I'm going to try to do 2 really happy years in a row.
I love to hear that.
Yeah, that's my New Year's resolution.
Awesome. Well, thanks for doing this, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
All right. Have a great weekend.
You as well. That is Alan Mitchell, the host of the Lowdown Flow Tide, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where their rates never change. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. That's probably a good one for all of us, saying just try to be happy. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Maybe the Iceman could also have a New Year's resolution to stay with the Oilers for a protracted playoff run. Perhaps in absence of giving you my own New Year's resolution, I'll give the Iceman one.
Break Teemu Selanne's rookie record. Just go for it.
Second half Calder win.
Just ramp it up. Hey, as the kid said in Angels in the Outfield, it could happen. Probably won't, but it could happen. When we come back, we'll get to 5 questions with Declan Kruger. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan, and Donovan Paulson with you here on Sports 1440. You can also watch us on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch, brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Promo down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. It's not lost on me that this radio ad competes with a lot of other dealerships on the air. So what sets us apart? Honesty. At Northgate, we believe in giving you the very best price we can with the most value possible. We aren't giving away free trips or paying off your credit cards, but it is my promise you will get exactly what you paid for every time. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired.
Waking up tired. Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Do you work for a company that wants to reach people who love sports? Or maybe you're looking to hire people who love sports. Sports 1440 partners with dozens of local businesses, connecting with tens of thousands of Edmonton sports fans every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. Contact our sales team today to see what Sports 1440 can do for you. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca to get started.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
I'm getting McDonald's. You want anything?
Oh, yeah. I'll get I'm obviously going to get the McVeggie, medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99. It's my favorite meal and it's new. Plus, if I get that, maybe he'll want it too. And then he'll always thank me for introducing him to the McVeggie. I'll be a hero.
So, McVeggie fries and drink?
How'd you know?
You were thinking out loud again. Get yourself a McVeggie meal for just $9.99 plus tax for a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Riverside Honda. 59 years and counting. St. Albert and surrounding areas' premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It's your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Lotto Max tonight, an estimated $46 million. Also, you can get the Jason Gregor Show boosted odd picks and more. Use promo code Gregor50 with your deposit. PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, use your game sense. Stay within your limits. Connor Halley, Wanya Gretz, Declan Kruger, and Donovan Paulson with you here in the Sports 1440 studios. That's still to come in the show. We will be joined by Mark Spector and Jason Gregor. But until then, I think we should do a little bit of 5 questions with Declan Kruger. And spoiler alert, we've got Mount Rushmore back. 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. You can save up to 25% on TV stands, wall units, and electric fireplaces, and coffee tables, and up to 40% off select mattresses. Free local delivery on TVs 50 inches or larger at The Brick and thebrick.ca.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
Okay, question number 1. What is the best case scenario that still exists in the realm of possibility for Howard and Hudson as the Oilers call up?
Now, just for clarity, what do you mean?
Well, I'm glad you asked. You're talking about the realm of possibility, surely.
Sure, go on.
I don't think a Calder is in either of these guys' future. I don't think 20 minutes a night and 40 goals in the last 45 games are in these guys' future.
I think Howard could play his way onto the team permanently. Is that reasonable? I think so. Dak?
I think that's
okay.
Perfectly acceptable answer.
I think some ups and downs, maybe after during the Olympic break, send him back down, play more in Bakersfield. It's their first year of pro, NHL pro. And, for Howard, first year of pro, totally. Hudson played a little bit. I just think that there's, it's not going to be a straight line in development. So to expect them to come in here and solve all the Oilers' problems, I don't think that's going to be it. One of my things with the Oilers is, toughness at times, and I don't expect either of these guys to do that. But any offense they provide is welcome. So I think you're going to get a few more, some good looks from these guys offensively, hopefully more offensive zone time. But I don't think they're necessarily the answer for the team.
Question number 2, where do you come out on Mattias Ekholm being left off of Sweden's roster and then, as an extension, Philip Broberg making it?
It is what it is, right? So I think that you just kind of have to look at it if you are Mattias Ekholm as let's get healthy. Let's go out there and use this to my advantage and recoup, get healthy. We all know he had injuries. He came back from the Stanley Cup final. He's a hockey player. He wasn't just going to miss that dime. So he was going to get out there and it's such an advantage, I think, for him, being a bit of an older guy to have this chance to recoup and everything. So I think for him, it sucks. But as an Oilers fan and for him to try to spin it, what a positive where he can use this time. For Philip Broberg, I think it's awesome because I was one of the people who liked Philip Broberg, from the start. Even, there was criticism. Should have taken Cole Caulfield, and Jay Fresh had him at like a 2% to be a NHL pro every day or whatever it was, 50-50 to be a pro. And I just thought that, people were too quick to jump on the guy. We know how long it takes defensemen for the most part to develop. So good for him. I think that's a great opportunity. We know how good he can be, and I think it's awesome. No ill will from me.
It hurt, though, Dak, when they named Broberg to the team. Let's be honest.
See, that's what I was kind of getting at. Like, were you kind of like, ooh.
You don't like to see your ex get away and be successful.
Yeah.
I'm not cheering against him, but I'm not cheering for him.
All right. Question number 3. Which Olympic roster has the best forwards, the best defense, and the best goaltending?
What is this? Test, a patriotism test live on the air.
Well,
Team Canada,
you
across the board.
Okay. Goaltending?
Got a flag, I'll be waving it. Yes, goaltending. We're legends.
Jordan Binnington made the team.
Legends.
Okay.
Could be a third stringer. Hey.
Yeah, in St. Louis.
I hope he's the third string when it comes to Canada. To be totally honest with you, I will give the forward group Canada. How can you know? You've got the top 3 point producers. Goaltending, we'll see how it gets when it matters. But for the opening 3 games, USA. I like Hellebuck, Ottinger, and Swayman. Pretty dang good, but postseason struggles have been an issue for them. Defensively, there's some good groups here. It's tough to pick just one. Let me just be a homer and say Canada. I'll take a page out of Wanya's book, but there's some good groups there. But yeah, goaltending US, forwards Canada.
I was thinking Sweden for defense, maybe. Question number 4.
Broberg?
Yeah.
That's a good group too. Yeah, really good.
Question number 4. A quick reaction to each college football playoff game in the quarterfinals.
Well, I don't know enough to mention each one in turn, Declan, but I will say that Indiana stomping on Alabama like that
was awesome, wasn't it?
Shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deck. You might have to just jump in on this one as well. I think for Miami to get the win against Ohio State, we were talking about it day of, did not see that coming, especially with the Buckeyes defense. It was pretty good. It was top of the nation, and Miami found a way to muster some points and for them defensively to slow down Ohio State and the receivers that they have. I thought it was very impressive. Indiana, that's just, to me, is one of the best sports stories this year with how they turned that program around. Ole Miss, Georgia, the one game that did not miss. That was a lot of fun. And, I guess the Bulldogs probably don't want to give Chambliss and the rest of that offense that much time at the end of the game. Oregon, Texas Tech, I was happy to see it go that way. Because for whatever reason, I don't like Texas Tech, and I do like Oregon.
Crazy that 3 of the 4 games were upsets, Tech.
Yeah. And now in the 2 years of the 12-team format, the teams with the bye are 1-7. How about that as a stat? Yeah. Now, question number 5. Wanye, did you watch Stranger Things?
I didn't.
Okay.
I
Like
didn't.
you haven't seen any of the show or
Not
just
one moment of it?
Okay. Yeah, I wrote these questions when I thought it was just me and Connor. So I apologize. I mean, you'll
That's
still be
okay.
able to answer
Of
the back
course.
half of the question.
Sure.
No doubt. Connor, we obviously both watched the Stranger Things finale. So I want to know your Mount Rushmore of TV finales.
How was the Stranger Things finale before you break it down?
It was bad.
Really?
It was really, it didn't, there are like 100 loose ends that weren't tied up, and it was just kind of a Marvel CGI slop fest.
This is what happened with Lost. I was so dialed into the show Lost. And then you get to the finale. They're always controversial, right? No one loves generally how a show ends.
I didn't mind it. I enjoyed it. When Elle like
it was
dove
enjoyable
through and like
viewing.
dumped into the mind flayer and like ripped him open, Declan. That was probably your CGI slop you're talking about. I was like, that was badass.
Like it was enjoyable viewing. It was like I didn't watch it like you watch a bad movie, but it was so far removed from what the show initially was.
But I
And
mean,
like 100 different plot lines. This like I don't know how you can defend this part. Like 100 different plot lines.
it just
that
jumped
they
the
s-
shark. Like it went from kids playing D&D and going missing to like
Turned into the Avengers.
there's a new universe. Going to your question, I will say Sopranos. I like the ending because I like the mystery.
Very controversial.
Very controversial, absolutely. Parks and Rec had a good ending. Sons of Anarchy, even though like it was sad, that's just the way it had to end. I want to say Game of Thrones just to fire people up because they get so mad when you say it. But I liked the way The Office came to an end as well, and having like Michael come back. And I don't think there's like a great way to end a TV show because people's lives get so like into these TV shows and it ends and people are always grumpy about it. But I like having Michael come back and get the great quote from Andy at the end. Like I didn't mind it.
Well, I had here for my Mount Rushmore. Now they're a little bit older shows, Dak, because I'm not that big of a fan of the new stuff.
Yeah, because you're 58 next month.
Oh my, how dare you?
Yeah.
On this the second day of the year telling such lies. Lost, I really enjoyed. Friends was good. People were mad about it. Seinfeld, I thought was fine. People were mad about it. Remember that? How mad everybody was?
Oh yeah. Everyone gets mad about everything.
It's true. But
It's the
Seinfeld
creator's
was
choice.
pre-internet.
Yeah, that's true.
And everybody still found a way to let it be known they didn't like how it ended.
Yeah.
They were faxing each other, Declan, at scale.
Water cooler.
Deck, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, Breaking Bad comes to mind. I think that show was wrapped up perfectly, and I think a big reason why is they didn't do too many episodes. It only had like 62 episodes total or something. Succession, I think, was wrapped up beautifully. Again, same train of thought, kind of a shorter show. I thought The Wire was wrapped up very well. And Connor, I agree. The Office, I thought, because that show really jumped the shark in the last like 3 seasons, maybe even 4. Definitely the last 3, for sure. The last 2.
They were just throwing expensive guest stars.
No,
on
it was
right?
it was bad by the end. But the fact that Michael kind of came back and they tied everything together as like a send off to The Office, and Dwight's the manager and Jim's, it was done very well.
Now, Declan, if I may ask you, just on the topic of Stranger Things, what was the biggest loose end for you? Because I've heard this too. They're like, well, what happened with Susie? Who cares?
Yeah,
She was in
so-
for 2 episodes.
So like there had been kind of a throughout season 5, because okay, I don't want to get too deep into it. So there's like 3 different dimensions essentially that exist. There's the abyss, which is Vecna's mind flare, the hive mind. There's the upside down, which is the bridge between the dimensions, and there is the real world. And there had been different like imagery inserted into each different dimension and into each different memory that we all kind of assumed was going to be revealed as like why is Vecna messing with their memories like this? What is the significance of this November 6th date? And none of that ever came around. So that would be the biggest one. Who unlocked the door in season 1? Like, I understand the implication is that it was Vecna, but it was never explicitly stated. And here's the thing, like, I don't think the Duffer Brothers had any idea what they wanted to do and who Vecna was in season 1, because the show was just such a true detective, Twin Peaks, Twilight Zone kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So those would be 2 that, without just run in my mouth. Those would be two that come to mind.
I always say it. I said it once today. I feel like it's like Team Canada at the Olympics. No matter what happens, someone's not going to like it. And that's okay. You know, my question was though, Declan.
Hey, all good, man. All good.
Fantasy Frenzy crossover. The Demogorgon. I thought they'd be more in the abyss.
Yeah, they weren't in the finale at all.
It was like empty. That'd be like, what happened to them?
And this isn't like, I don't view this isn't a plot hole. This isn't a loose end. But the fact that the Mind Flayer for 9 years was like this unbeatable, undestroyable monster who, spoiler alerts, by the way, who they beat up with a blowtorch in like 15 minutes.
Well,
we got to do a little better.
Combined with him being connected with Vecna, and Vecna was getting, his wood kicked in the inside.
That's another thing I didn't like. Anyway.
Check out our Declan and I's new podcast, Stranger Things. We recap it all. We'll take a little break here. When we come back, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet. Get back to the hockey talk. Let us know, though, 1-833-414-1440. What did you think of Stranger Things? And also, did you have any other shows that wrapped up that you thought they did so quite well? There's a lot. There's a lot that also did not do very good. So you could mention those. But first, let's get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Mike and the crew want to thank you for all the support in 2025 and wish you a happy new year. Together, we fed almost 500 families, and we're going to do it again. Thank you from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
World Junior Hockey Championship action. Czechia up big on Switzerland, 5-2 with just 4 minutes to go in the third period. Sweden beat Latvia earlier today, 6-3. Slovakia and Canada will play at 6:30. In the NHL, we have one final from earlier. It was the Blues over the Golden Knights 4-3. And in about an hour, we'll see the Rangers and the Panthers in the Winter Classic, the Kraken and the Canucks, and the Wild and Ducks both at 8. In the NBA, no games so far yet, but 2 games tipping off in just a couple minutes here. The Spurs and Pacers and the Nets and Wizards. Late game today, we'll see the Grizzlies in LA to take on the Lakers. College football final saw Texas State beat Rice 41-10, and Navy currently leads Cincinnati 21-7 in the Liberty Bowl with 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. AJ action, Grand Prairie and Bonneville and Olds Canmore both tonight, both with a 7 p.m. puck drop. And the Spruce Grove Saints tonight also will play host to the Prince George Spruce Kings. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Jason Gregor and Mark Spector. I'm Declan Kruger. This is the Sports 1440 Update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
I skipped breakfast this morning. Stay out of my way.
Don't threaten me with your bad choices.
No worries. A booster bar from Booster Juice will fix me.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because they're new. Snack-sized bars packed with seeds, pecans, gluten-free oats, all sorts of good stuff.
That sounds lovely, actually.
2 different flavors to try, too. Coconut pecan booster bars and harvest booster bars. Want to skip breakfast with me?
I take it back. You make good choices.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts, and play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocksyeg.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if you need it immediately with no overtime rates, if you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
A huge thank you for making Sports 1440 the most listened to sports radio station in Edmonton. From Gregor to Carius to Low Tide, we've got in-depth analysis on all your favorite sports. We are Sports 1440.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk, family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
The Hockey Super League is proud to launch its 9th season, delivering independent, borderless hockey. This year, over 125 teams will compete across Alberta, Saskatchewan, and for the first time ever, Colorado, USA, with showcase style action, cross-province rivalries, and a strong commitment to player development. The HSL is the premier destination for families seeking balance and athletes chasing the next level. The Hockey Super League. Hockey without limits. For athletes born in 2013 to 2018, visit hockeysuperleague.com to learn more.
Did you know the Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's 5:04. Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. The show is brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, the Lotto Max tonight, an estimated $46 million. You can get your ticket at PlayAlberta.ca. Remember to use your game sense. Lots to get to still here on the show. Jason Gregor is going to join us coming up in about 20 minutes, and we've also got Wanye's World. But right now, it's time for the Spec Report with Mark Spector. Brought to you by GS Construction. They specialize in underground infrastructure. They make your life a little more enjoyable with running water and indoor plumbing. They're the grinders of construction. GS Construction. Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, good evening. How you doing?
Good, man. What's going on?
Oh, not a whole lot. What time did you get out of Rogers Place on New Year's Eve?
I cheated and I left right when the game was over. I wrote a piece on the year that had just passed, and I thought the quotes would be so bad after that loss that there's no point hanging around for them. And when I listened to them later, I was right.
Veteran move right there. So you got in time for the ball to drop then?
I did. I got home in time for the ball to drop. Spent it with my wife. It was quiet, but it was nice. Better than being in my truck or in the press room or something like that. So I was fortunate and happy to be home. How about you, man? How's your New Year's?
Oh, uneventful. Family went to bed and I watched Stranger Things, the finale of the whole show. So yeah, pretty uneventful. It's not as big as it used to be for me, Spec. I don't know. Something changed in life, and now I just going to hunker down at home and don't get too into it. Just on the topic quickly of Stranger Things, and it ended. I don't know if you ever got into it, but Declan had asked us in 5 questions TV shows that wrapped up the best. Did any stand out to you?
TV shows that wrap. I mean, I go back to the days when half of the continent watched MASH's last show.
Yeah.
The Sopranos last show did a pretty good job. I thought that left everybody talking quite a bit. What other finales have I watched? Not a ton. I don't know. Give me what other big ones have there been that I might have seen?
Seinfeld might have been one.
Never a big Seinfeld guy.
Jeez.
I know. I can't believe Gregor lets me work here. I never found Seinfeld to be nearly as funny as he did.
I'm right there with you. It's kind of a hot take these days, but I enjoy it, but it's not
I
like
enjoy it. Yeah, I enjoy it, but it's not. I mean, I find the Flintstones is by far more. It's something like the words to live by more than Seinfeld.
Yeah, I can see that. Why don't we talk about the Edmonton Oilers? That's probably what people might care a little bit more about today. So the big news, Quinn Hudson and Ike Howard recalled from Bakersfield, both having great success down there with the Condors at the AHL level. To you, what is fair expectations for these guys in their return to the big club?
Well, to me, I wrote a piece, this should be up on sportsnet.ca. Like, this is the big chasm between hockey fan and hockey coach, right? How many years have we watched these young offensive players come up and the hockey coach puts them on some third, fourth line and plays them 6 minutes, and then they go, those guys didn't really produce the way they did in Bakersfield, right? Like, we've been watching this for forever. So I like the fact they're on the same line with Savoy. Like, it's not one guy getting buried with a couple veterans. I think that's kind of cool. And to me, they got to play. Like, I'm on the fan side on this one. Don't call these guys up and give them 6 minutes, don't waste their time. Leave them in Baco then. So what we need to hope for tomorrow, Connor, is you got to hope the Oilers get a lead. You got to hope the big line gets a goal, maybe the Draisaitl line, the power play. If it's a 2-2 game, the coach isn't going to play those guys much, right? If it's a 3-1 game or a 4-1 game, they're going to get ice time. So that's where it starts, I think. Maybe they score a goal, who knows? But they need to be – the closer the game is and the longer it goes, the less they're going to play. That's just what hockey history tells us. So I hope they get a proper showing. And let's let them buck a little bit, man. There's a bunch of veterans, bottom sixers on this team that haven't done squat for 40 games, man. Squat. Let these guys have 10 games or 5 games and see if they can't do in 5 games what Mangiapane and Frederick haven't done in 40. Give them a shot. The other guys had their chance, and they hadn't got the job done.
Yeah, you look at the today at practice, the second and third left wing spot. I know Mangiapane was filling in for Podkolzin, who's under the weather, but those two players, they got to get something going. And if you can get a spark from these young guys, I'm all for it. Now, do you think, down the road, if those guys do, hit the ice skating, hit the ground running, is there an opportunity, you think, for RNH to be dropped down to that third line center? Or do you think Chris Knobloch just wants to keep him riding shotgun with McDavid?
I don't know. Like, that's a good, fair assessment, and it could possibly be. I think I don't see Matt Savoy on a really small line. Now, Nugent Hopkins just doesn't play big either. So I'll be honest with you. I don't see a scenario where Hudson and Howard are wingers on the same line down the road here. This is neat right now, and it's fun, and hopefully they have familiarity helps them succeed. But I don't love any line going in the playoffs with two guys as small as Howard and Hudson on my wings. Like, sorry, I don't like it. And it's not going to fly. Those guys won't be successful in the playoffs if they play with a guy like Savoy in the middle, that tiny little line of 3 rookies. I'm sorry. It's a great story, but they got about a 1% chance of success. So, but what it does do is if they get going, let's see what happens. Like, let's see if Ike Howard can, maybe Podkolzin isn't productive, and maybe you do put one of those guys in his spot and give him a shot. And maybe that left wing spot next to McDavid does open up, and maybe Nuge does become your third line center. And let's shake the thing up a little bit here. We're 40 games in. The Oilers they're playing pretty good hockey. I mean, not lately, but you know what I'm saying? They're in first place. They got time to experiment. Let's see what you got here with these guys, and let's move them around a little bit. Let's give them a shot to succeed in the roles that they're good at. And if it comes at the expense of a Mangiapane or a Frederick or someone else moves around, well, tough luck, right? Tough luck.
Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz sitting in. I want to ask you about Calvin Pickard this year because, we've seen it a lot where when his back's up against the wall, whether it's for him or even for his team in the playoffs, he seems to find his game. And the writing might be on the wall when the team goes out and acquires Tristan Jarry and they trade for Connor Ingram as well. What have you seen from him, off the ice? Does he seem like he's ready to go, feeling confident in this role and just a chance to keep on fighting for more game time?
Like there's something to this role. I know people sit the guy that sits at home and says, culture, that doesn't, what's it worth? And chemistry, what a bunch of garbage. You can't track chemistry or culture and they like the backup goalie. Who cares about that? You know what? That guy's probably not spent much time around teams. And to me, that role, the backup goalie, the guy that can sit around and not play for a long time and then jump in when the fire's the hottest, usually the second of a back-to-back game, a situation where your team's not playing so good, a situation where your starter's been so bad they got to get him out of there and you got to come in and save the day, right? We've watched Pickard walk into a lot of fiery creases over the last few years in this town. And he, generally speaking, gives you a really good game, gives you a chance to win. Like, he's done it twice in the playoffs, man, when all was almost lost and Skinner needed replacing, and in comes Pickard. I'm not telling you he was the best in the world, but they survived both situations until Skinner came back and they went to the Stanley Cup. So that guy's got a lot of cred, man, in my books and in the books of his teammates. So one day he might get replaced around here, and it might happen this season, but it won't happen lightly. And you better be making one hell of an improvement on this guy if you're going to rip him out of that dressing room and tell all his teammates that, yeah, he's done all this for us all this time, but we're going to throw someone else in his job. We're going to send him to Bakersfield or something. You can do that, but you better damn well be sure you're putting in a better option and a better goalie. And right now, Ingram's as good as Pickard is. I'm not thinking he's much better. He's got to prove, right? He's got to prove that the damage you're going to do pulling Pickard out of your room. And it's a big move, and people can poo-poo it all they want. It's a big move. You better have a hell of a goalie stepping in to take his shoes if he leaves.
Yeah, I totally agree. Mark Spector joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Olympic rosters, a few more teams announced today in the States and Finland and Sweden. Any surprise for you that Mattias Ekholm left off the Swedish roster?
I mean, privately, no, because I think we've known that for whatever reason, Sam Hallam, the Swedish coach, Ekholm doesn't do it for him. He's just not an Ekholm fan. And that doesn't mean Hallam's a bad guy, and it doesn't mean Ekholm's a bad guy. But I would say that there can't be if you're starting a list of coaches that haven't liked Mattias Ekholm, it's a short list, man. Look at the guy. So I feel for Mattias because it's his last shot. I think he even said that today. Like, this is it for him. What is he? Is he 30? What is he, 33 now? Look him up. But anyway, he's not playing in the next Olympics. So I feel for him in that regard. This was it for him. Doesn't make it, and it's a shame. When you're the Oilers, and when you're an Oiler fan and you're Stan Bowman and you're the Oilers team, this is awesome for the Oilers because he didn't need an Olympic break where he was traveling all over the world and playing a bunch of really, really important games. This is good for the Oilers, bad for Mattias Ekholm, and I feel for the guy because everybody likes Mattias Ekholm. He's a hell of a guy. I would have liked to see him get his dream and play in the Olympics, but I'll be honest, selfishly, the Oilers aren't displeased about this because he'll be a better player down a stretch.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And it's a positive way to spin it for himself and for Oilers fans. 35 years old. He'll be 36 in May. So
okay, so he's 35. The next Olympics comes, he's 39. He ain't playing on the Olympic team when he's 39. So too bad for Mattias. I feel for him. He's earned a shot along the way, and he's like so many of these guys because they never went to the Olympics. He missed 2 Olympics dead in his prime that he likely would have played in. And now he's getting older, and the young guys replaced him. He never did get a shot. So bad luck, tough luck. Too bad. I feel for the guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah, kind of in the Mark Scheifele age range as well, where it looks like he's probably not going to get an opportunity either.
How old is Scheifele now? Scheifele's what? 32?
32? Yeah. So he'll be 36 next time around.
Yeah, maybe. If he can't make it now, he's probably not making it then. That's another guy. You're right.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's definitely, I wish we would have had a chance to see these guys represent the last couple Olympic Games. Yes. Mark Spector joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. So the game's not played on paper, but when you look at the Canadian and the U.S. rosters, obviously pretty elite talents there. We saw them meet in the final of the Four Nations last February. Do you foresee a rematch in the Olympic Games here?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's so much good hockey to get played here. I think that, you're asking me to predict. We're going to get down to a quarterfinal, to a semifinal. Someone's going to have to beat Sweden in a semifinal, and that Swedish team is really good, so they could knock off Canada, right? They could knock off the States. So could Finland. The pesky Finns are hard to beat. The States always looks great on paper. They always look great on paper, and they always have better goaltending than you do on paper. And they got a nice defense on paper. And when they go home with gold medals, none of them are going to the USA, are they? So, don't ask me why. Like, they should have a gold medal or two under their belts by now, around their necks. It's a hell of a hockey nation. They put together an unbelievably good team. I'm not saying they don't, but it's one of those things, man. Until you won, you're not a winner, and they're close, but no cigar. But they haven't won yet, have they? Since the Miracle on Ice. So they got to win before I'm going to tell you they're a winner.
Yeah. And you know what? With Ottinger and Hellebuck especially, I'm assuming they'll be great in the first 3 games. And then when it starts to really count, we'll see what they do.
There you go, right? Like, it is crazy. It is somehow, Billington was better than Hellebuck when it counted last year. And so was Skinner better than Ottinger the last 2 years. And you do the math on that. Tell me how that worked out.
Absolutely. And we'll see what happens when the lights shine the brightest over in Italy. Now, before we let you go here, you got Canada in action tonight at the World Juniors, taking on Slovakia. Should be an interesting one. We're about, hour and 15 minutes away from puck drop. What have you thought of Canada, the most recent action we've seen them play, most recently against Finland, and now a change between the pipes?
Yeah, they're putting a different goalie in tonight.
Yeah.
George let in. Both goalies last night were letting in a lot of stuff. That doesn't come as a surprise. Who's playing goal?
Ivankovic is the new goalie.
Okay. So, hey, you know what? They should beat Slovakia. They shouldn't trip on Slovakia. Our guys are so much better. They're all first-round picks. The pedigree of player on Canada is so much better than Slovakia. It's not even close. So it would be a massive, massive upset if Slovakia wins this game. I don't think they will. I wouldn't bet them with your money.
Thank you.
And the States gets the Czechs. The Czechs are a little trickier, right? Czechs a little trickier. They're not a bad team, and you could trip on them a little bit easier. So the Latvians, I watched a little bit today. They gave Sweden about 10 minutes of tough hockey, and then the Swedes just pulled away. They're bigger and faster and better, and they weren't going to let Latvia get in the way of their ride here. So I think it'll be fun when, the one thing, I don't care about upsets. I'd almost rather see the best teams get through. I'd love to see, that quarterfinal with Canada, or the semifinal, I should say, with Canada and the US and Sweden and Finland. And then let's, let her go, man. Let's see who the best is.
Yeah, Czechs already there. Sweden punched their ticket. US up on Finland 2-1 right now, and Canada.
Oh, US got Finland. I'm sorry.
Yeah, leading 2-1 midway through the second period. So
who the Czechs beat?
They beat Switzerland.
Oh, they beat Switzerland. Okay, Czechs are good. I watched them play twice in the tournament, and I like their team. They're big. They're really big, and they got a good team. I'd be worried about them.
Yeah,
and I will say to you that does anyone miss Russia in this tournament? I don't miss them one bit.
We got a few people that want them in the Olympic Games for make it a true best on best, but
true best on best. Yeah, no, Russia shouldn't get anywhere near any kind of international sporting event for the foreseeable future, my friend.
It's looking like it's going to go that way. Well, Spec, have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the nice afternoon game tomorrow. You'll be off a little bit early.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to seeing that line play. I hope beyond hope that Knobloch finds it in his heart to give him a proper bit of ice time here. And I hope they play well enough to earn the ice time, right? I hope that they force his hand. If that trio with Savoy and Hudson and Howard gets out and starts skating and playing, hey, maybe I hope they don't give him a chance to say we're going to dial back your ice time. So let's see what happens.
It's going to be fun. Spec, thanks a lot for doing this. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, Connor, have a great weekend.
You too. There you go. Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, it will be Jason Gregor here joining us. The show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. It's not lost on me that this radio ad competes with a lot of other dealerships on the air. So what sets us apart? Honesty. At Northgate, we believe in giving you the very best price we can with the most value possible. We aren't giving away free trips or paying off your credit cards, but it is my promise you will get exactly what you paid for every time. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired. Yeah, waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress, guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
I'm getting McDonald's. You want anything?
Oh, yeah. I'll get I'm obviously going to get the McVeggie, medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99. It's my favorite meal, and it's new. Plus, if I get that, maybe he'll want it too. And then he'll always thank me for introducing him to the McVeggie. I'll be a hero.
So, McVeggie fries and drink?
How'd you know?
You were thinking out loud again. Get yourself a McVeggie meal for just $9.99 plus tax for a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular menu price order. Enter promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's 5:25. Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger, Donovan Paulson with you here in the Sports 1440 studios, the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, you can use promo code Gregor50 and get a $50 free play when you deposit $50. And tonight, the Lotto Max, an estimated $46 million. Go check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. Remember to use your game sense. The text line, 1-833-401-1440. A few texts we will get to once we conclude with our next guest. Joining us, well, I don't know exactly where he is, but he joins us via the phone. Jason Gregor, the host of the Jason Gregor Show here. Jason, how you doing today?
I'm good, Cons. I'm on the Alberta side of Lloydminster.
What are you coaching out there?
Yeah, we're in a tournament.
Right on. How's it going so far?
It was a tough 5-minute stretch in the third period. Led 3-2 and gave up 3 goals in 6 minutes and lost 5-3. So terrible coaching, clearly.
Big momentum change there. I assume you guys have some time to bounce back tomorrow.
Yeah, well, tournament, early game, 8 o'clock. So
okay.
Coach got to set a curfew tonight for the kids.
No, I know mini sticks past 7.
Yeah, exactly.
Edmonton Oilers making some moves today. Jason, recalling Quinn Hudson and Ike Howard from Bakersfield. What do you make of this decision, and what do you think the usage will be for them tomorrow against the Flyers?
Well, I'm curious. Is Pod Colson I haven't.
He missed practice with an illness, so we're waiting to see.
Okay, illness. Okay, so he's probably okay. And Pod Colson, like Mangiapane, obviously was holding his spot. So you know what? I don't have a problem with it. You got a lot of guys shooting blanks all over the place. So the last 3 games here, the Oilers really haven't had anybody scoring that much, to be honest. So now they created a lot against Boston. Swayman was just pretty good, but I don't have a problem with this at all. I wonder, like, I know they have Savoy centering the 2 kids, and why not? You can go with the kid line on a home ice and be a little bit protective of who they play against. But I don't think they're that concerned about them defensively. They'll probably get a lot of offensive zone starts, and I won't be surprised to see maybe Nugent Hopkins end up being the center iceman there for a few shifts. So you got to try something. Now's the time to do it. You got a lot of guys in a funk in their bottom 6, and you'd like your third line to produce something. So why not bring up the 2 hottest guys in the AHL, at least on the Condors anyway? So makes sense.
Yeah, when you look at some of the guys on the Oilers bottom 6 that just can't find ways to get it going, I mean, what do you think the message is from Chris Knobloch and his staff? Because we saw Mangiapane get that look with Draisaitl last game, did not last very long at all. I mean, at a certain point, what do you say to these guys?
Well, they're professionals. They've been around a long time. There's not much you can say. Really, anybody who's coached at any level, like, you can talk till you're blue in the face. The players are the ones who play. And now what the coach can do is, you can give them ice time, right? That can help them in a way. But if they're not playing the way you want, or they're not doing much, then it's hard to give them ice time. So it's a real chicken and the egg dilemma, and it's a fine balance. And lots of coaches experience it, that sometimes you press the wrong button, and sometimes you press the right button. So I think that there's a clear message here that we're going to bring up some guys. The Oilers on an extended, like, January, what do they play? I think it's 11 out of 15 at home, right? So it's the perfect time to incorporate some more youth. Now, let's be honest here. You've got 3 rookies on your third line. Then you got Roslovic and you got Nugent Hopkins. There's 5 of your top 9, and none of them are very big, and none of them are very physical. Like, that's not going to be your top 9 in the playoffs if you want to go deep. Like, let's call a spade here. So anybody who's watched the Oilers playoff roster knows, like, Evander Kane played a big role each year in the playoffs, just with minutes, and you need somebody with some size in there. So I do think that it's something that, I don't think all 5 of them will be in the playoff lineup, but this gives them some experience, and, maybe 4 of them end up being there. So I really don't have a problem with it at all. You've got, Adam Henrique's a 4th line center, so just get him used to being a 4th line center down the stretch here. There's no point playing him in 3rd line. Janmark's not really a 3rd line guy. So I don't have a problem trying some other guys here. And then obviously, when Kapanen comes back, we'll see kind of how guys are playing, because, if Kapanen comes back and you think he's a top 9 forward, then one of your top 9 forwards is going to go to 4th line. And I don't want Howard or Hudson to play my 4th line. That makes 0 sense to me, or Savoy. So either one of those guys, whoever comes out goes to the minors, I think is how it works when Kapanen comes.
Jason Gregor, the host of the Jason Gregor Show and Oilers Nation, joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz sitting in. Jason, the Buffalo Sabres, now 10 straight wins. They're in a playoff spot right now. How long do you think they can keep this going? Like, do you think this could be the team we see for the rest of the season?
Well, they're not obviously going to win as much as they are, but the Sabres, I thought at the start of the year would be a very competitive team, and I thought would be in the mix to make the playoffs, and that's what they are now. So it didn't. The first 40 games probably didn't go as planned. They stunk to start, and now they're red hot, which is obviously unsustainable. So I think they are who we had thought they were at the start of the year, a team that could compete for the playoffs. And the East is wide open. So it's probably going to come down to who stays the healthiest amongst those teams. And really, you know what, like, can Buffalo have another really good stretch of 10 games? If they find another way to go 8-2, not right away, but at some point in their last 40, that's probably the difference. If you play 500 the rest of the way, and then you go 8-2, you're probably going to make it. So that's kind of where I see the Sabres at right now. Obviously, the Lion injury, how long is it going to be? That could impact them for sure. Ukko-Pukka-Laitinen did come in and played pretty well in his last starts. And, like, they're beating some good teams here lately. That's the other thing. It's not like, in 2018 when they won all these games in overtime and the shootouts, and, they're getting outshot horrendously. Like, they've only given up 18 goals in the 10 games, right? Like, so they're getting good goaltending, and that's a key. So.
Yeah, and that division's really interesting right now because the Maple Leafs now won 4 of their last 5. Red Wings sitting atop the list. The Panthers out of the playoffs, but you can't rule them out. So it's going to be a fun division to watch down the stretch after the Olympic break. Did you get a chance to see the U.S., Finn, and Swedish rosters?
I did, yeah. Obviously the Jason Robertson one, stands out. Adam Fox, I can see it. Now, people have to remember, Quinn Hughes didn't play. So Quinn Hughes comes in. Well, he's obviously playing now. And Seth Jones has played really well, right? So I can see why they look at Seth Jones and they look at Adam Fox and they say, man, like, they've got a lot of kind of similar defensemen in the USA, right? They got a lot of smaller defensemen. And that's why I think, Seth Jones makes a lot of sense to me. You got to have some size, and he can skate well. Like, he just, he played 20 some minutes a night on a Stanley Cup winning team. Like, I think he's pretty good. So that I'm more surprised, I guess, a little bit on Robertson than I am on anybody else. So, we'll kind of see how he goes from there. The only surprise maybe for me was, Pontus Holmberg making it. That's, over some of the guys that got left off that team. But, at the end of it, I didn't see any major ones. You're always going to have debates, just like for Canada, right? There was a few that, hey, you know what? Why didn't they have, Schaefer or maybe, Sam Bennett? But, ultimately, the team who wins, you can't question their decisions. Anybody else, if they don't win, people are going to say, oh, you know what? If they would have had this guy, they might have won, which is great for sports radio, but there's zero actual credibility to it because it's just an opinion based on nothing because we don't know how that said player would have played had he been in the situation.
Did you think Matthias Ekholm had a realistic chance at the Swedish roster?
I did not, actually. I think that, and honestly, Oiler fans should be giddy
yeah,
that
exactly.
he's not there. He's 35. He needs a break. Right? Let him have 3 weeks off. That is the best thing that happened for him. Same with Zach Hyman. Like, Hyman, I thought, had a legit shot to make it, right? But I thought Ekholm was in tough, realistically. And you don't want Matthias, like, why would you want Matthias Ekholm to be the number 8? That's why they sent Broberg, younger guy. They think he'll be there in 4 years. There's no chance Ekholm will be there in 4 years. So I think that's probably why they did it. And you got to remember, Ekholm was going to be scratched in Sweden's last game in Four Nations until everybody got sick, and then he had to play. So that kind of, to me, the writing was on the wall. The last one, that they just, they felt like, hey, we're gonna bring in some other guys now. And I honestly think I know it'll suck for Ekholm. Of course, he wants to play. I get it. But from an Edmonton Oiler perspective, that's great news for Edmonton.
Totally agree. Before we let you go here, are you looking forward to the NHL Winter Classic down in Florida tonight?
Well, I'm actually, as we speak, I'm watching it. Their outfits reminded me of my grade 9 grad when I went with the all pink. It was sick, man. Miami Vice was pretty sweet back in the day. So I don't mind that walk to the rink. I'll be very curious to see how the ice conditions hold up. I know the NHL has done a lot of work, and I know Will Cooley said, hey, the ice isn't very good. Well, no one's expecting it to be great, right? But obviously you don't want it to be to the point where it can have ruts and then there's injuries, right? Mm-hmm. That's the only thing. But Florida has become a pretty good hockey market. Like, it's never going to compete with Canada. People don't have to flex and be like, oh, we have more fans. Like, of course you have more fans. Like, it's not rocket science, and hockey's not like embedded in the community. But the success of the Panthers will get more rinks and will get more kids playing hockey, and that's how you grow your game. So it's good for them. Do I think this is going to be the norm? No, but I've always said I'm a big fan of the outdoor games for the home team. So that's really who it's for now. People are like, oh, they're making a big deal out of nothing until it's your team and then you love it. So stop complaining about it when it isn't your team, and you don't have to watch it if you don't like it. Right? It's like I'll be tuning in, for personal reasons, but also just to see kind of how the ice holds up and what it looks like. It's kind of a unique one to be in Florida, right? An outdoor game in Florida. Like, whoever would have thought that?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to have some cool sight lines. Or like the imagery, I think, is going to be awesome. And I guess Noah's going to be playing in it, right? So very interesting. Now, NFL this weekend, we've got some playoff spots open. You got the Steelers or the Ravens, and then you've got the NFC South as well with some possible drama there. It could be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Carolina Panthers. Who do you think makes the postseason with those two battles still ongoing?
Good question. Like, I looked at what the Ravens did last week. And I look and say, man, you're gonna run now, and Lamar's back, so I still think they got more talent than Pittsburgh does right now. And without you look at DK's out of the lineup for Pittsburgh, like that, man, who would have thought that suspension would loom this big now, right? And that, to me, that's a difference maker, no question, don't you? Like, I think that's probably so. I'll take Baltimore on the road. I think if Pittsburgh wins, it would kind of be an upset at home ice. And then, man, the other one, I have no idea. Tampa Bay's just been chunkier down the stretch. Like, look at their last 7 games. Like, they've been brutal. So I'm going to go with Carolina because they've been the better team lately.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. Without DK Metcalf, like, even if he's not getting targeted as much as you'd like to, he's still a threat. You always have to kind of have him in the corner of your eye because he's got such big play potential. And I'd love to see the Carolina Panthers take that next step. And, they've been kind of, the bottom feeder of that division for a while now. So to get a big win, to advance, good for Bryce Young, good for the program. And I think a fun team to watch potentially going forward here because Dave Canales has really turned that program around. Jason, good luck in your game tomorrow, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
Thanks for filling in, fellas. Have a good weekend.
You as well. There you go. Jason Gregor, the host of the Jason Gregor Show, 2 to 6 here on Sports 1440, Monday through Friday. You also get him on the Rundown on DFO and Oilers Nation as well. Wanye, nothing beats as a kid the out-of-town tournament.
Oh.
The pool, the mini sticks, going out for dinner with the team. Can't
Connor,
beat it.
I could only aspire to this as a kid. I never did it once.
No?
I never went on a single out-of-town tournament, but I was always envious isn't the right word, but I knew what I was missing out on at the time.
The Calgary trip was the one that I did a couple times, and once we were 17, 18. So the 18-year-olds obviously went out and had a little more fun than the younger guys, but as a kid, grade 6, we got the announcement in the school announcements. A couple guys going down to Calgary for the weekend, and it's pretty cool. Yeah. The pool was the best.
Totally. It's like the sober fun you have as a kid before you go on trips with the boys on weekends, right?
Yes, absolutely. Good, innocent fun. The text line is 1-833-401-1440. You can keep those rolling in here. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll get to Wanye's world. Little trip down memory lane, perhaps. It is the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Stephen Kruger, Donovan Paulson with you here, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
When the ground freezes, you wonder how anything can get done. And instead of staying outside in temperatures that would make a polar bear cry, you head inside where it's toasty and warm. But that's not what GS Construction does. Because while the ground freezes above, we plan below, rebuilding and revitalizing the systems that keep our communities working year after year. Now, don't worry. GS Construction promises to do everything safely and efficiently, and we'll wear our extra warm clothing outside. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
For a silly hockey fans, your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Did you know The Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
Your all-access pass to the world of sports is Edmonton's only sports radio station.
From pre- and post-game hockey shows to in-depth analysis from your favorite commentators, the action never stops on Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Ewell. Get your power play amped up with Ewell, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. Ewell.ca, your partner in power.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's 5:42, final segment of the week. Weird day, but welcome back and thank you for joining us on the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight's Lotto Max, $46 million. Go get your tickets. PlayAlberta.ca. Use your game sense. Connor Halley, Wanya Gretz, Declan Kruger, and Donovan Paulson with you here. The text line is 1-833-401-1440. I say weird day. I don't like having one day off midweek because last night felt like Sunday night. Today felt like Monday, but it's Friday. And now we're right back on the weekend. So it kind of felt off, but it is Positive Friday here on the Jason Gregor Show. So, man, you really can't argue about that.
I'm in that upside down between the holidays, Christmas, and New Year's, right?
Yeah.
And the way that it timed this year, this January 2nd, I don't know, man.
You need the weekend to get back on track.
I got to come up. Like, it's like coming up from the ocean bottom. You can't do it too quick. You get the bends.
Stranger Things mentioned.
Yeah,
What
used to be
happened?
upside down and the
Oh.
abyss. And
When you guys were
Hawkins.
talking about it earlier, Deck, I'm not going to lie. It was like you had a random word generator going and you were just spitting out the things that it told you to say.
the Mind Flayer and Vecna. Honestly, the show was so good, though. Like, the music and just, like, taking you back to the 80s. I don't really remember the 80s, but, like, just good show.
The 80s was a lot of fighting supernatural beings. And
Well, we would never know because
Right.
it happened in Hawkins, Indiana,
Right.
fictional town. There was the end of the show where they're like the older people are like, let's meet up once a month and never fall out of touch. And I was just like, they're gonna fall out of touch.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's just what happens, unfortunately.
She needs Instagram.
Yeah.
And you'll never fall out of touch.
Facebook, you follow along with each other.
Yeah.
But it was like 1986 or 1987. Text line 1-833-401-1440. Actually, why don't we get to Wanya's World? Brought to you by Wanya.
Hey.
What do you got for us today?
Well, I was looking earlier at the Olympic team. We were talking about this at the break, so we thought we'd turn it into Wanya's World. But I was looking at the 2002 men's ice hockey team.
Mm-hmm.
It is insane to go back now, 23 years later, and look at that team. Like, your goalies from this lineup were Belfour, Cujo, and Brodeur. What you wouldn't give for just one of those guys in 2026, hey?
Yeah.
Like a crazy goaltending roster. The defense is insane. I remember Eric Brewer getting named to that team.
Brewer
Everyone
and Smitty.
freaking out saying it was Kalo. Kalo's involved. He's pulling strings.
He was good that
He
year,
was
though.
great. Smitty's there.
The funny thing about that team, though, Wanye, do you remember the opening round?
Of course.
You remember the first game? They lost to Sweden.
Okay.
Ryan Smith didn't play.
Talk to me.
That's why they lost.
Obviously.
Do you remember the second game?
Continue.
They beat Germany 3-2. 3-2.
That was it.
And then they tried Czech Republic at the time. So they were 1-1-1.
Yeah.
With a -2 goal differential. In my mind, that's the greatest hockey team ever assembled. They barely got through to the next round. That's where they beat Finland 2-1. Shaping up for a rematch against the Swedes. But wait. Puck off Tommy Salo's mask. Belarus gets there. Remember.
Tommy Salo was never the same.
Tommy Salo's never the same. Canada goes on, beats Belarus 7-1, like the Swedes probably should have, because Sweden had a really good team there. Like Forsberg, Matt Sundin, Lidstrom. There was probably lots more. And then you get to the gold medal game, and that was probably one of like my finest moments as a hockey fan. Beating the States, get the goal between the legs. What a tournament. But yeah, that like you go back and look at that roster and
everyone's on the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, like it's an unbelievable team.
It's crazy.
But to think they went 1-1-1 in that opening round and like barely got through, pretty wild.
So many superstars just bumping into each other.
Joe Sakic had to wear number 91 because Yzerman got 19.
Respect to his elders.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a fun tournament. To be totally honest with you, if I didn't have that stat in front of me about their opening round record, I never would have thought it. Because I remember they lost to Sweden, but I don't remember, barely getting past Germany and then tying the Czechs.
I remember that photo they took at the end, the gold medal photo.
I got a painting of it.
Me too. I had it up in my rumpus room for rumpusing.
Maybe we have the same one. Now, do you remember who led the tournament in points?
Canadian?
Swede.
Forsberg.
Nope.
Sundin.
Really? Yeah. Then Brett Hall, John Leclerc were second and third, followed by Joe Sakic. How about this? Jean-Jacques Acheleman of Switzerland, tied with Philippe Bozon and Len Socio for fourth, yeah.
Legends.
Tied with Lemieux and Yzerman.
Look at this defense. You got Jovo, you got Adam Foote, you got Pronger, Scott Niedermeyer, like Rob Blake and Brewer and McInnes. What? So much firepower.
Yeah, right. One guy kind of like, maybe not as much as the rest, but they were great.
Imagine you could transport 32-year-old Rob Blake from 2002 to 2026 and just put him on the top pairing.
That shot, man. Yeah, it was a good group. I thought Joe Sakic was absolutely dynamic in that one. Jerome McGinley played his way onto the team.
Yeah.
It was a good group. Good tournament. That was in Salt Lake City as well. So
is that the best hockey team ever assembled?
I don't think so.
There's some Canada Cup teams that the purists will argue.
Yeah.
Right? With Lemieux and Gretzky.
For sure. Geez, what was it? The 04 World Junior team? Do you remember that team?
No.
I will just get the list here if I can. But that was the Sidney Crosby would have been there. Like Ryan Getzlaff, Corey Perry. I wish the roster would have popped up a little bit quicker here. But it was just like, it's considered by many to be one of the best teams of all time. But you don't remember it.
No. The World Juniors in those days were not on my list of things to do. I was too busy going to the bars 6 nights a week.
To do that,
drinks were so affordable.
Well, yeah.
Dollar highballs? Who can afford not to go to the club? Come on.
That's fair. When you put it that way.
Lemieux, 36 years old, leading the Olympic team. What a story.
Yeah, he wore the C, right?
28-year-old Eric Lindros, just cruising around like an aircraft carrier, destroying people. 25-year-old Smitty, soaking up the Captain Canada vibes.
Okay, I've got it. Canada's that year, 41 goals for, 7 against. Obviously, they won it all. 6-0 in the tournament, so that's a goal differential of plus 34. Oh, it won't bring up the roster. Patrice Bergeron. I hate technology. It
won't bring up the roster.
It's just taking me to the wrong year.
Are you on Wikipedia?
No.
Oh, that's your problem.
I've had to scroll through a few different ones.
I got it here. Marc-Andre Fleury in net.
Okay, I got it.
Dion Phaneuf.
Yeah. Like, just go through the roster.
Brent Seabrook. Sean Bell, friend of the show.
Great guy. Edmontonian.
Getzlaff's there. Jeff Carter. Wow, this is stacked. Mike Richards.
Cam Barker, who at the time was very, very high up there.
Brent Burns. Sidney Crosby. Dashing forward from Rimouski.
Yeah. And he would have been the young guy. Like 2 years younger than everyone else, like 16. Nigel Dawes. Corey Perry. Only 2 of them are playing. 3 of them have contracts at the NHL level. Shea Weber getting in there as well.
Corey Perry when he had frosted tips, I might add.
Oh, absolutely.
Puka shell necklace. It's going down.
Brent Sutter, Pete DeBoer running the show on the bench.
Just yelling at all these kids, eh?
Probably didn't have to coach him. Clark MacArthur had a good run in the NHL. Anthony Stewart, Andrew Ladd. Just a really good team. So we're talking like at their time. Obviously, they're not an Olympic team, but that to me is one of the best teams assembled for Canada.
Is that your favorite World Juniors of all time?
You know, probably one of my favorite World Juniors was the Connor McDavid one with Curtis Lazar as captain. Darnell Nurse was there. Bo Horvat probably would have been there. Like that was a good group.
It's crazy to think Lazar was the captain on a Connor team.
Well, he was
younger.
Yeah, he was drafted already by the Sens, so he was like an NHL player almost, on the cusp. But And
Maybe
I think
he did.
McDavid had to wear the globe because he was 16. And you just remember like seeing him like, oh, this guy is pretty good.
Yeah.
Because we're not watching too many Erie Otters games back in 2014, whatever it was. So to see him on that level, I think that was a fun one for me to watch.
I think that's part of the reasons why Canadians love World Juniors so much is you get that first glimpse of somebody where all of a sudden it's not junior dominance. It's not shelling a team 8-1 with Erie. You can do it on a bigger stage.
I think going back to, because you talked about like the Jordan Eberle teams where he was so clutch, like you needed a goal, he was the guy. But then you go watch the highlights. John Tavares playing on some of those teams, PK Subban, Taylor Hall, obviously, like really good groups there. So yeah, and he was like Eberle, 13 points in both those. Cody Hodgson, I think, was pretty hyped up at the time. Good groups. Zach Boychuk follows everybody on Twitter.
Huge. And then unfollows you a second later. What happened?
You. Jamie Benn was on those teams. Vander Kane, like just absolutely loaded roster. So that would be another one like pretty good when it comes to eventual NHL talent and gutting it out, finding a way to win. Some good groups there. But yeah, I mean, this, who knows? This maybe in 10 years we look back at this team and say, wow, look at the run they went on.
When was the last time the pros got to play in the Olympics? I was trying to think about this.
It was 2014.
Right.
In Sochi.
12 years, man. That's crazy.
I tell you, getting up at going out the night before and getting up and then not really sleeping and going to a local establishment to watch the game. Because remember, they made the rules where they could pour booze at 5 a.m.
I think as the Pint, we petitioned the Supreme Court to be allowed to open early.
They allowed it to happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, we went and watched it. They kind of only scored 3 goals in that game, I believe, which was great because me and my friends had this great idea. Let's do a shot every time they score.
Oh,
it was like 5 a.m. Just stupid behavior, but it was so awesome. And that was just a suffocating performance by the Canadian defense.
Totally.
Like defensively. I'm not saying I could have won the gold for them, but good thing they had Carey Price. Chauncey's nurse was on the team. Thought I mentioned him, but could have missed it for sure. Larry says, check out the Soviet Union team in 1989. I'm going to take a look at that after the show. Big thank you to all of our guests today. Mike Rupp, Lorianne Munzer, Craig Button, at Camp Dates, 2 Minute Warning, Low Tide Spec, and Gregor. A lot of fun. Check the podcast if you missed anything, or go to the YouTube, Sports 1440 AM, and you can watch that. For Wanye, Declan, and Donovan, I'm Connor Halley. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe. We'll talk to you on Monday. Right now, let's get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of no payments, no interest for 1 year. Stay warm all winter with a new furnace from legacyheating.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
World Junior Hockey Championship action. USA leads Finland 2-1, 30 seconds into the third period. Finals today saw Czechia over Switzerland 6-2 and Sweden over Latvia 6-3. Canada set to play in about 35 minutes time here as they take on Slovakia. In the NHL, just the one final so far. Blues over the Golden Knights 4-3. Rangers and Panthers will play in the Winter Classic in about 5 minutes time. And at 8:30, we'll see the Kraken and Canucks and the Wild and the Ducks. In the NBA, Spurs lead the Pacers 51-42. Wizards lead the Nets 48-39. Cavs lead the Nuggets 13-8. And the Hawks lead the Knicks 21-20 with 5:49 to go in the first. College football results: Navy over Cincinnati 35-13 in the Liberty Bowl, and Texas State over Rice 41-10 in the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. Arizona and SMU and Wake Forest Miss State both set to go in about 5 minutes. AJ action: Grand Prairie and Bonnyville, Olds and Canmore. In the BCHL, Spruce Grove Saints hosting the Prince George Spruce Kings. 7 p.m. puck drop for that one at the Thompson Family Arena. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. On behalf of Donovan Paulson, Wanye Gretz, and Connor Halley, I'm Declan Kruger. Live your life with kindness and charity, and this has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and